podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Saturday, July 2nd, 2022. This is episode 1907. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by userway.org. Userway is the world's #1 accessibility solution committed to enabling the fundamental human right of digital accessibility for everyone. When you're ready to make your site compliant, deciding which solution to use is an easy choice to make. Go to userway.org/twit for 30% off Userway's AI-powered accessibility solution. And by Cisco Meraki. With employees working in different locations, providing a unified work experience seems as easy as herding cats. So how do you rein in so many moving parts? The Meraki Cloud Managed Network. Learn how your organization can make hybrid work work. Visit meraki.cisco.com/twit. And by IT Pro TV. Finally, you can enjoy getting an IT education with IT Pro TV. Visit itpro.tv/twit for an additional 30% off all consumer subscriptions for the lifetime of your active subscription when you use the code TWIT30 at checkout. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy number 2. Micah, you should be equal. Another Tech Guy.
Tech Guy also.
The other Tech Guy. Tech Guy also. Micah Sargent with me. We're here to talk tech. What a surprise. 8888 Ask Leo. What is tech? Well, obviously computers, the internet, but we'll also talk about smart cars. We'll talk about home theater. We'll talk about space. I mean, really, we could talk about pretty much modern life is technologized in extreme ways, right? These days, everything is tech. So I guess we're talking about everything.
All things.
8888 Ask Leo if you want to talk with us. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. Or Canada. Outside that area, you could still reach me, but it's going to have to be, reach us. It's going to have to be Skype or something like that. Skype out, we should call that number. 8888 Ask Leo. You know what I brought you? Not to keep. You can't have it.
Fine.
But you reviewed the Steam Deck, which is a portable game-playing machine that weighs about 12 pounds. And is the size of a shoebox.
12 pounds, 4 ounces.
And I think that they were just kind of copying this. This is a Nintendo Switch.
Uh-huh.
And I just want, you don't have a Switch?
I don't have a Switch. I've never used a Switch.
So I wanted you to kind of have an experience of how light, slim, and I think equally playable. Now, it doesn't have enough horsepower to play the games that Steam Deck can play. That's really designed to play top PC games. But
where do the games come from? Where can you get them for?
They're Nintendo. So
like the Nintendo Store.
What I'm playing right now is the Nintendo Store, and you can buy. Believe it or not, it's so old. They have a cartridge slot. You can buy little. They look like SD cards.
Oh,
you
my
put
goodness.
games in there, but mostly now we do it online, modern era and all. I'm putting a game on here called Portal, which was a great PC game, one of the best PC games of all time. Just came out on the Switch. Totally playable, totally cool, just as much fun. I just feel like, and this is about half the price of the Steam Deck.
Half the price, half the weight?
Well, here.
Let's see.
Give yourself a little.
Yeah. Oh,
plus, you can hook it up to your TV. It's got an HDMI
the
dock.
docking ability is.
You can take those controllers off, and they give you a little plastic holder, and it turns it into a regular controller.
It actually looks quite nice, too.
The screen's good. That's not even the best one. There's an OLED screen. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of add to your review of the Steam Deck that there is something out there that the Steam Deck is essentially copying, and not as well.
I was going to say trying to improve upon it. I don't know that they have.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, for gamers, and if you're a parent of a gamer and you're saying, maybe we should get Johnny. Little Johnny loves his games. Maybe we should get little Johnny a Steam Deck. No. Spend half as much, about $259 to $299, depending on how it's equipped, about $300, and get a Switch.
This is the Animal Crossing one.
Oh, Animal Crossing's in there. You should.
And this is the
So
version,
you were playing
right?
Stardew Valley.
Yes.
If you like Stardew Valley.
I have fond memories of Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing's the game. And
back in the day.
Yeah, this is the newer one, but yeah, similar. Very similar.
I've learned how to crouch.
You immediately, look how smart you are. He's immediately crouching, boys and girls. Crouching tiger.
Hidden dragon.
Hidden portal.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, I just, I don't know why. I just thought, well, I should, especially since I just put Portal on here and it's really playable. You can carry this around. Better battery
I was going to say,
life.
it's more portable than the other one.
It's got a case if you want.
I don't feel as concerned. The other one, you got to put it in its case.
I feel very nervous about it.
Yeah.
So we talk about social media, and we talk often about how awful social media is, but I have somebody here who says social media is great. So I don't know if you watched the testimony, the congressional testimony of the January 6th committee. Mm-hmm. In one of the first days, a federal judge testified, Judge Michael Luttig. And if you saw it, you probably didn't, but if you saw it, you noticed he spoke carefully and slowly. And at first I thought he's had a stroke. I mean, I really thought, oh, he's kind of having a hard time talking. No, he's capable of jabbering away as quickly as I am and you are. No difference. But he wanted to speak carefully because he knew, first of all, he says, the first time I was ever on TV, but also he knew it was historic and he wanted to make sure it was clear what he was saying. But here's the interesting thing to me, and the only reason I bring this up on the Tech Show is he's 68 years old. He saw a tweet who said, somebody tweeted, I like how this guy treats every line. A guy named Vanity Fair writer Joe Hagan wrote in a Twitter thread, I like how this guy treats every line of his testimony like he's engraving it on a national monument. And frankly, he really is engraving it for history, and he seems to know it. Judge Luttig, who had received many emails and messages, he says, I saw so many tweets saying I must have had a stroke. My friends started to call me saying, are you all right?
Oh, wow.
Judge Luttig saw that tweet, and he said, I decided to respond to your at once astute and understanding tweet finally this afternoon because I've been watching the tweets all day suggesting that I'm recovering from a severe stroke, and my friends, out of their concern for me and family, have earnestly been forwarding these tweets to me and asking me if I'm right. Such is social media, Judge Luttig wrote, as I understand it. But I profoundly believe in social media's foundational. Now, this is a 68-year-old federal court judge who is kind of old-fashioned. Mm-hmm. He's a staunch Republican, kind of an old-fashioned constitutional guy. I profoundly believe in social media's foundational, in fact, revolutionary value and contribution to free speech in our country. And for that reason, I willingly accept the occasional bad that comes from social media. And no one denies that, right? In return for the much more frequent good that comes from it, at least from the vastly more responsible, respectful speech on those media. I thought that was really amazing. I mean, I was impressed by this guy when he testified. But here's a guy who would, you would just assume, oh yeah, he's going to hate social media. He's going to hate Twitter.
Right, yeah. That they'd write it off or something.
Yeah, that's just the kids. These kids. He says, that is why after 16 years after my retirement from the bench, even then as a very skeptical, curmudgeonly old federal judge, I created a Facebook account and then a Twitter account slowly, very slowly, one account first and then followed by the other, which is, by the way, his speech cadence. He put in ellipses to show that he's doing it. All of this said, I am not recovering from a stroke or any other malady, I promise. Thankfully, I've never been as sick or so debilitated as that ever in my life and would not want that from anyone, knock on wood. I've never even really been sick a day in my life, he revealed. So I just thought that was fascinating to see somebody praise, and I think maybe I'm critical of social media,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Facebook and how it spies on you and how it's used to spread paranoia and weirdness. But on the other hand, I think he's making a really good point that these are very valuable tools for us that we should not ignore. So I'm going to stand corrected by a very wise man, Judge Michael Luttig. Thank you for that thoughtful piece. Steve Jobs getting the Medal of Freedom
This is, posthumously, as well as quite a few others. I read
17
through the list.
people, yeah. This is normal. They do these in a batch. It's not unheard of to have posthumous medals of freedom. This is the highest civilian award in the United States. And I feel kind of bad because Steve Jobs passed away 12 years ago. It would have been nice
if it had happened sooner.
If it happened in his lifetime. And certainly everything that they're giving the Medal of Freedom for is stuff he did in his lifetime.
Right,
so it's
while he was still around.
Oh, wait, we just noticed. Steve's pretty cool. Anyway, he deserves it. I hope that his wife, his widow, I should say.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Lorene Powell Jobs can go in and receive the award. At least his family, Reed, his son, and his daughter could have that experience. They deserve that much. So, and I agree. Steve Jobs, if anybody deserves a medal.
I was going to say, I think this is an absolutely well-deserved award for him.
Yeah. 8888 Ask Leo is our phone number, 888-827-5536. We are here. Why are we here, Micah?
We are here to answer your questions, your tech questions.
I've been sitting here for 17 years wondering that. Thank you for filling me in.
You're so welcome.
The Tech Guy Show continues after this. Yeah. That's a good one, Twisted Mister. Ironic that Steve Jobs couldn't be repaired.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. He tried. He
did.
Couldn't do it.
Through some odd ways.
Well, he was kind of anti-Western medicine, which some say, and I don't know, but that had his pancreatic cancer been treated by traditional medicine. What happened? That was wild. TriCaster just went boom.
It seems, I did a hard reboot, and it seems to have come back.
Boom.
You may take control.
All right. That was, we keep going because it's really a radio show, so it doesn't really matter if you can see us.
Yeah, and I was able to, I put the, this camera on the stream.
Oh, good. Thank you. Uh-oh. Is this going to have anything to do with you?
I don't know.
Vienna calling.
Oh, Vienna's calling.
If we get a call from Vienna, that will be prophetic.
Vienna, please call.
Let's hear from Vienna. Could be Vienna, Virginia, or Vienna, Austria. Any Vienna. Is that Falco? Did Falco pass away? Is that what happened?
No, I'm just...
No. I always, you're like Twitter now, Professor Laura, musical director. When she plays a song, I think...
Somebody's dead.
Are they dead? Did they just die? Falco passed away in 1996, so it's in the Dominican. So it's not, never mind. 898. Hi, Kim Schaffer.
Hi. Welcome home.
I
was enjoying your stories over
I've
the
only
break
been gone. I left Monday, came back Friday, went to visit my mom in Providence, Rhode Island, and with my daughter. It was great, beautiful visit. I've only been gone a few days, right?
Uh-huh.
But I feel like it was time travel because I felt like I was we moved out. I moved away when I was in 9th grade, so I haven't been there since then.
Different house, though, right?
Yeah, she's not in the same house. She's in a new house. In fact, she's lived
somebody
in several.
lives in that house.
Well, that's the funny thing. So
I love that story.
I walked over to see the old house I grew up in from the age of about 8 to the age of about 15.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a beautiful old colonial house, which my folks had restored from nothing. They had no pipes, no electricity. And they made it beautiful. And I walked over just to see it. And I thought, weird, this fence is the back fence, the same fence as when I was a kid. I went over and touched it. Then out the door comes an old friend.
Alex.
I knew he lived there, Alex Wilhelm. And I say, hey, Alex. And he said, what? I said, it's Leo. He said, who? I said, I know it's out of context because I never see him. We only see him on Skype.
Right.
I said, I know it's out of context, but hi, I'm Leo. He said, Leo?
He forgot you?
No, he knew who I was, but he was just so weird.
It is weird.
You ever have that happen?
Because he didn't expect you to be in town.
Because I didn't call ahead or anything. I didn't want to bother him. In fact, I wasn't going to knock on the door or anything. I was just going to see it and walk on. So they gave me a whole tour of it. So it was very much like, it's cool. And it has nothing to do with tech, but it's cool. And I have a picture of it. My dad, in 1966, planted a little thin pin oak, they called it, brand new baby tree. That tree is now more than 100 feet tall, 3 feet around. It's huge.
That's awesome.
There's an old Chinese proverb that the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago.
Yes.
The
That's
second,
so true.
The second best time is today, right?
I like
So-
all my avocado trees.
Yeah,
I wish they were 30 years old.
55 years ago, Dad planted that tree. I have a picture of him, which I just sent to Alex, planting it. And
Wow,
now, I
that's
mean,
so cool.
It's mind-boggling.
I love that.
I got to
That's so
send my
cool.
dad the picture of the tree. He won't believe it.
Yeah.
So that was, so I feel like I did a little, like I just came back from the past. Like, I feel like Back
9
to the
years old
Future.
again.
Yeah. It's wild. Anyway, I'm here. You're here.
that.
I guess that means we should take some calls.
Yeah, let's go to Karen. She's having an email syncing issue.
Email is the number one. Is it now the number one problem? Printers used to be.
Printers. Yeah, it's
Now it's
replacing
emails.
printers.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Let's press the button here and put Karen on the line from Temecula. Hi, Karen. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, what was happening is that when I read my emails on my computer, on my phone, they are not showing as read. So when I pull up my emails on my phone, it shows I have 45 unread messages. And then I was also having a problem with when I go in to correct an address in my contacts, it would not take the new address. It would take it all, and then I'd go out of it, and next time you go back to look at it, and the old address is in there. Mm-hmm. So I went into the Spectrum store, and that was my mistake. So
I hate cable companies too. What did they do?
Well, he just messed up my phone completely. I don't think I have some contacts left. I still have the same problem. He said, well, I haven't really seen this, and I think maybe you have your contacts in iCloud and Gmail. And he said, I'm not real familiar with Gmail. I said, well, maybe somebody else, one of those other people over there could help. And he said, no, I'm the phone guy. And I said, okay. And then he went back. He went back into the back room and said, well, I just checked with a gal back there who has an iPhone. So apparently he wasn't familiar with iPhones.
Oh, boy.
So I'm still having the same problems. I can't get them. I just don't know what to do. And so I think probably I just need to go to the Apple store, or unless you have a.
Well, oh my, yeah, no, I'm glad you called us because clearly that Spectrum guy was a buffoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How can you be the phone guy and not know anything about
Let me ask
iPhones?
somebody else about phones, yeah.
Study up, guy. Study up. So maybe Spectrum should give him an iPhone so he can become the phone guy.
Don't you think?
Don't you think? Now, let me ask a couple of questions. Who gives you your email? Is it Spectrum?
Yeah, I have Spectrum, yes.
Yeah, so you're using Karen at spectrum.net or whatever.
Well, no, I have Gmail.
That's the question I was asking. So,
I'm sorry.
No. Spectrum is your internet service provider.
Yeah. But I have Gmail.
Yeah, a lot of people confuse this. Gmail is your mail provider. And then why did you go to the Spectrum store? Because did you get the phone from them?
I did.
Okay. Okay, so that's why you went to the Spectrum store.
Right.
And it's and Spectrum provides your service as well on the phone as well as your ISP.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. So the problem is not with Spectrum. The problem is with Gmail. Gmail, what mail app are you using on your iPhone to get your Gmail? Is it the Apple Mail app?
I don't think I understand what you're saying.
So when you open the app on the phone, is the app called Mail? How do you get to the mail?
How do I get to my mail?
On your phone. You're looking at your phone. You're getting your mail.
Yeah.
Do you open the browser, Safari, to get the mail?
No, I don't have I have an icon.
You have a button that says Mail.
Yeah. Well, I have an envelope.
Yeah, that's the Apple Mail app. So that's an app called Mail. It comes from Apple.
Okay.
Gmail also has an app. You might try that. Gmail will for sure, if you use the Gmail app, will for sure mark those messages as read.
Okay, but why would it all of a sudden start doing this?
It's a setting in Apple Mail, which unfortunately this guy sounds like he really screwed up your system. So, but it's a setting in Apple Mail. It's probably, I'm going to guess, Gmail is set up not as an IMAP client, but as a POP client. This gets really technical and to no real purpose, Karen. But that's my guess. I'm not sure why it's not marking that mail as seen. It will for sure do that if you use either your Safari browser to look at Gmail or the Gmail app. There's a Gmail app, and that will solve that. Unfortunately, just hang on because I gotta take a break. Scott Wilkinson's coming up, our home theater guru. We'll talk about home theater, and I will spend a little more time with Karen. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. It's so complicated, Karen, and that's why it's hard for us to in 2 minutes cut through the Gordian knot of email. So let me see if I got your issue properly stated. You open them and read them on your phone?
No, on my computer.
You open and read them on your computer.
Right.
But on your phone, they're not showing up as red.
Correct.
Got it. And when you use your computer, what are you using to read the mail?
Well, Leo, I'm 83.
Oh, I understand. I just spent a week with my 89-year-old mom. Believe me.
I know. I heard you.
And it was wonderful.
I know.
It was wonderful. I gave up, by the way. She has a remote control for her TV that I couldn't figure out. And I said, Mom, I am so sorry I sent you this TV. This is terrible. So probably with Gmail, it's going to be similar to the problem on the phone. You might be using Apple's mail program, which would be a button.
How would I know that?
Well, it'll be called Mail. It'll be an icon on your computer, whether it's in the dock or.
I have it in the dock, and it's called Mail.
Yeah, so that's the Apple Mail program. It's a similar issue. It's how the Apple Mail program is set up. It's supposed to work so that when you read a message, see, Google stores the mail on Gmail. You don't store it on either your computer or your phone, and that's why you do it this way, so that when you've responded to a message, that sent mail shows up in both places. When you read a message, it's marked red in both places. There are reasons why it might not be marked red. There are settings, for instance, in Gmail that you can say, don't mark messages as red when I read them. There are settings in Mail that could do the same thing. You brought your phone in. The guy screwed up your phone. It had nothing to do with your phone. It has to do with your computer and how it's set up.
Okay.
So I'm sorry that happened, because the phone guy completely not only wasted your time, but trashed your system.
Yeah.
And if he just asked you these questions that I asked you, he would have said, oh, yeah, this has nothing to do with your phone.
Okay.
It's the signal being sent from your Mac to Gmail that this message is read. And there are multiple reasons why Gmail would not mark it red.
But why is it showing that it's red on my computer, but not on my phone? My computer shows it's red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you click on an email on your computer, at that point, it will mark it as red. What's happening is there's some issue whenever it gets to the sync part. But what I'd love is if after we say goodbye to you, if you stay on the line for a moment, Kim will take down your email, and I'm going to reach out to you after the show, and we'll see if we can't.
I warned Micah never to do this.
Yeah, Leo says don't do this ever. But
in
Karen,
17 years, I have never once did this. But Micah is a nice guy. I don't understand it.
My grandma's name is Karen as well.
Oh,
so it's just,
see? Yeah. Micah's a sweetie. I'm going to say the same thing, though, which is there is a Gmail app for the Mac as well.
I think it is a better
If you use the Gmail app on the Mac and the Gmail app on your phone, I bet you this would solve that problem.
Okay.
So just go to the App Store in both places, on the Apple App Store and the iPhone App Store, and download the Gmail app. All you'll have to do is log into your Google account, and it will automatically be set up and everything. And my sense is that's probably going to be a preferable way to use your Gmail.
Okay. Now, when you say to do that, I go to the App Store on my phone.
And the App Store on your Mac. You have app stores in both places. Both of them will have an app called Gmail from Google.
Okay.
But I have to run, but I'm going to give that, hang on, we're going to get your email. The very kind and foolish Micah Sargent is going to help you. Tech Guy Podcast brought to you today by userway.org. Userway.org. I'm talking about making your website ADA compliant, accessible. Not only is it the right thing to do, because you're opening up your website to a much larger group, 60 million plus people, you have a responsibility to make your site accessible. It's a public entity, so you got to make it accessible. And with UserWay, it's easy. That was my biggest concern was, I can't afford it or it's going to be too hard. No, UserWay is really affordable and it's really easy. It's AI-powered. It tirelessly enforces all the accessibility guidelines, the WCAG guidelines. And I love this, so do our engineers. It's one line of JavaScript. That's it. Because UserWay is so good, it's used by more than 1 million websites, including the big guys, Coca-Cola, Disney, eBay. These are companies that really have to be accessible, and UserWay can do that. As you get bigger, they scale with you. If they can handle Disney, absolutely they can handle you. They make best-in-class, enterprise-level accessibility tools available to you, your small or medium-sized business. And then as you scale, you need UserWay, and you're ready. It just makes business sense. Some of the biggest problems, nav menus, very difficult. So the way this works, if you're blind or you're using accessibility tools, there is what they call an accessibility layer. That's what the screen reader sees. So really what UserWay does is make sure that all the information available to the front page to the sighted user is available to the browser in the accessibility layer. It changes colors. Now you've got your Pantone color for your business. Of course, we do too. It doesn't change that, but it adjusts hue and luminance so it's easier for people with vision issues to read. So UserWay will generate alt tags. That's one of the reasons it needs AI. It can actually see the picture and generate an alt tag that matches the picture automatically. You can go in if you want. You can modify it, of course. It fixes violations like vague links, fixes broken links, makes sure that your website uses accessible colors, and you'll get a detailed report of all the violations that were fixed on your website so you know exactly what it did. Plus, you can work with it. UserWay integrates seamlessly with your site builder software. Let UserWay help your business meet its compliance goals, improve the experience for your users. UserWay can make any website fully accessible, ADA compliant, and everyone who visits can browse seamlessly, customize it to fit their needs. It's a great way to show your brand's commitment to the millions of people with disabilities. It's the right thing to do. UserWay. It can make any website fully accessible and ADA compliant. With UserWay, everyone who visits your site can browse seamlessly and customize it to fit their needs. It's also a perfect way to showcase your brand's commitment to millions of people with disabilities. We have the UserWay bug right there in the lower right on our website, twit.tv. You take a look at that. You can click it. It changes. It gives you all sorts of features. It's just easy to do, and it really is a great way to say, hey, we want you to visit our site. We want you. People appreciate that. Go to userway.org/twit. Get 30% off UserWay's AI-powered accessibility solution. That's right, 30% off. UserWay, making the internet accessible for everyone. The #1 accessibility solution worldwide. Userway.org/twit. userway.org/twit. Visit them today. Thank you, UserWay, for the good work you're doing. We're happy to be working with you on this. Now, back to the show. It's time to ask the musical question. What is hip? Scott Wilkinson is here, home theater geek. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Leo. Hey, Micah.
Hello, Scotty.
One of my, he's our expert in home theater, surround sound, flat screen TVs. One of my, I had a punch list when I went out to visit Mom this week of tech things to do.
Of course.
My June oven has the wrong time on it. Fix that. It was in the wrong time zone. Things like that. I can't hear the TV. She has a TV. I sent her TCLs for her
Great
bedroom.
TV.
And her living room. I sent them because they had Roku built in.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
She doesn't even use the one in the living room because she can't figure it out.
Ugh.
So I thought, well, I'm the tech guy. I'm going to go over there and I'll just solve that whole thing for her. I couldn't figure it out.
What?
I ordered she has a Vizio soundbar. I ordered an optical cable. I ordered AAA batteries for the remote controls. Amazon, fortunately, next day delivery. I had them all for the next day.
Yep.
This TCL remote is the goofiest, and I don't know why it's so goofy.
Really?
I now know how to do it, but it took me a day to figure out
a remote.
what buttons to push.
Oh.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to get a picture of the remote and the other remote, and because she's going to use the Apple TV too. That's what she wants to do. So.
Oh, now you're getting really comfortable.
I know. Now it's crazy. I've been doing this by FaceTime. So I say, Mom, turn your phone around, point it at the TV. Now press the top button till it jiggles. And she says, what button? I said, it doesn't look like a button, but it's a button on the Apple remote. Oh, crazy. Anyway, I figured it out. It is not usable. I don't know how any normal human could figure this out.
Yeah.
It was a lot of trial. I felt like a caveman.
I was helping my family recently with Wi-Fi stuff, and that's even more impossible because in the middle of the call, as you're trying to get it all ironed out, then they have to reset things, and so they go away.
Don't press that button. Oh.
I wish that there was some sort of thing where you could send someone trusted to someone's house to help them out. You know what I mean?
How many times have we wanted some sort of computer hand-holding? But it's just the person who's good enough to be able to do that properly costs $150 an hour, at least, right? Because that person can get a job in the tech industry. In fact, probably.
Someone who's on the level of you and I.
You call them up,
much as we do.
They say, well, what kind of stock options are you offering? No, I'm sorry. I just need help with the remote. Anyway,
it's been a long time since I've tried a TCL TV, and I don't remember the remote, but I'll take your word for it that it's not the best designed in the world.
Or somehow it got screwed up. The menus, you press the left button, it goes down. You press the up button, it goes left. I mean, it's something is so weird with it. I don't know Anyway, I figured it out. I'm going to print out instructions with pictures, arrows, lines, dots. Those will be confusing, but at least if she follows it like a cooking recipe, she'll be able to figure it out.
Basically, you're writing her a manual.
Of course, it came with a pamphlet.
Hard to read with the tiniest text.
Tiniest of text.
So anyway.
Yeah.
I'm very sympathetic. One of the reasons I've always done this show is to help people, but what I realize now is the tech industry doesn't give it.
They don't. They really don't.
Good gosh darn.
And it's harder and harder to reach out to these different folks and ask for help because, like,
really
Instagram or any of these.
Well, and but the customer service reps or this phone guy at the Spectrum store, they don't know anything,
and they have to. They're pressured to act like they do.
Yeah, but they don't.
Right.
So they mess you up, and they go, "Well, she has an iPhone. I'll ask her." What the? You're the phone. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm gonna calm down. Anyway, Scott. We live in this world, so help us.
We do.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
You're our only hope. Scotty won.
Scotty won Kenobi.
I've been watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, by the way. It's pretty good.
Good.
Well, listen, I got an email from a listener who he goes by the name G. Melkonian, and he's in the market for a pair of powered active speakers with Bluetooth for his desktop, under $200. And he wants woofers like in the 5.5 inch to 6.5 inch range. It doesn't have a size restriction. It's not like he's got to fit them into a particular place. Well, I recommend certainly for $200, you're really not going to get that large a woofer.
Truer words were never spoken. For $200, you're not going to get that large a woofer.
That's right.
Just remember that, kids.
That's right. Now, for $200, I looked for $200 and I found the Audio Engine A1.
I love the audio engines.
Audio engines are great.
I have those as my computer speaker, and I
have the HD3s as computer speakers, and they're really good. But they're $350.
Yeah.
So for $200, you can get the A1s, but they only have a 2.75 inch woofer. They only go down to 65 hertz, so you're not going to get much bass.
I have an audio engine sub. I mean, they make subs.
Sure, but that's another few $100.
It's a lot of money.
You know, sure, you could, and I would recommend it with these speakers.
Mom
absolutely.
has two of those little, I think probably A3s audio engines for her TV in her bedroom. And one of them was just disconnected. I said, Mom, who set up the, who got it? She said, oh, the cable guy when he set up the new cable, because she got fiber. Like, he got it all set up. And I said, Mom, yeah, okay, fine. So I connected those. She said, ooh, I can hear it both ears. And but then she said, well, is this so loud my neighbors will be bothered? So I went outside to listen. I said, no, it's fine, Mom, you know. But she wants some good TV headphones. And
Yeah, I remember
problem is,
talking about those.
I helicopter in. I'm a helicopter son. I mail her technology and I say, congratulations. So what should this person do? Is there some way to solve this conundrum?
There is. The Wirecutter came up with a list of their favorites, and that was written by Brent Butterworth, one of my friends in the
Brent's
industry.
great.
And he's great. He came up with the Pioneer DJ DM50D for $199.
Are
5-inch
there enough
woofers.
D's in that name?
Could you repeat that?
I know.
The DJ
the
DM50D.
Actually, the company is Pioneer DJ.
Oh.
It's their DJ division, and the speaker is the DM50D.
For
But
DJs.
it has no Bluetooth. It has no Bluetooth, this speaker. But there is a Bluetooth version for $219. So if G. Melkonian can push his budget by $20,
Well, I think that's fair.
I think that's fair. He can get the DM50D. The other strong recommendation, if he can push it a little farther even, is the Fluance AI41. Fluance is a Canadian company.
I understand
these have
why
a
Karen is frustrated. This is just...
that's why you and I have jobs.
Yeah, but I don't think we're helping.
Here we are.
Are we helping?
Of course we are,
good.
because in and amongst the ocean of choices.
Yeah, we're narrowing it down.
We're narrowing it down.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So the Fluance AI41 is $250.
Where do you get a Fluance when it's
Online on their website?
Okay. Fluance?
Fluance.
Perhaps
goes
the
down to
worst name in
35
technology.
hertz. Yeah. Okay. But it
I'm
goes
going
down
to get a pair of
35
COVID-itis
hertz.
headphones with my Fluance speakers. Then I'll just need a vaccine.
What does that mean when you say it goes down to
30 hertz?
Yeah.
35 hertz. That means it goes really low.
It goes
So you don't really need a subwoofer.
That's kind of nice.
Which is really nice. I mean, sure, a subwoofer would take you down to 20 hertz, but okay, so 35 is a lot better than
rarely go down to
50
20
or
hertz.
Indeed.
The
And I have
range
to
of
say-
human hearing, they say, is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz.
Right.
So
And most people can hear 20 hertz. Very few people can hear 20
you
kilohertz.
can feel 20 hertz
Right, exactly.
as much as hear it. You feel it.
Anyway, the Fluance AI41, I love my AI60s. They sound fantastic. So I really recommend these if you can spend the $250.
Scott Wilkinson, watch his show at AVS Forum, youtube.com/AVS Forum. We want a name that combines the word flu with flatulence. Is there a name that could combine the two? I want flu plus flatulence. Fluance?
Fluance?
Yes, bingo! You've done it! Brilliant brand marketers that you are.
Eureka! Flatulence at last.
Fluance.
Well, at 35 hertz, you might even be able to reproduce a pretty good version.
Are they French, do you think?
Yeah, they're Canadian.
They must be
first,
French-Canadian.
so,
French Canadian. Because maybe that's a good word in French.
Fluance.
Fluance. Anyway, yes,
It means
Fluance.
beauty and majesty.
It does?
No,
Oh. Wow.
sorry to disappoint.
Doesn't mean anything. So, Scott, while I try to get the timer in your corner, I will let you take over. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you so very much.
What do you need, Johnny?
Hello, everybody. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear anything. Oh, you're good. Okay, good. Then, hey, how you doing? Hey, Gumby, you get bonus Scott Wilkinson right now. It's me. Hello. Mike Mann, so good to see you. We haven't talked in a long time. I need to give you a call. We need to catch up because it's been quite a while. Have I lost weight? Well, I probably wouldn't say that, but I am trying. Let's put it that way. Gumby said, did I check out the cheap Bluetooth tube amp that you sent me? No, I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Hey, Loquacious, good to see you as always. Gumby, I have been a little recalcitrant in my requested research because of house hunting, and I will let those of you who are in the chat room in on a little secret. Looks like we found a house. Yay! I am so thrilled that we have finally, after months and months of looking, we actually been shopping for a year. Now, last year, we hadn't sold our house in LA yet, so we couldn't actually make an offer on a place. And I saw one or two places get away from me because I couldn't actually make an offer on them. That I'm really sad and bummed that we had to do that. But now we are in escrow. So this is brand new news, everybody, fresh off the presses. And it's in the perfect location, right exactly where we wanted to be, very near to our friends with their kids and their grandkids. Large enough to have music rehearsals, which was another really important criterion. Single level. There are very few houses in Santa Cruz that are single level. Most of them are dual level, and Joanna and I, our knees aren't getting any younger, and we really didn't want to be traipsing up and down stairs every day. So single level and at a price we could afford, and pretty new too. So we are super stoked about. Tech Dino, no, this was not the house we had an appointment at last week. That was a different house. And it did not work out. Although that house was very interesting. It was 2-story, so that was really kind of a deal breaker, but it was a little bit up in the woods, which was also a little concerning, but beautiful Spanish Mediterranean style. If it had been single level, I would have been all over it, but anyway.
Thank you, Scott. Want to stick around?
Sure, happy to.
Ain't nothing gonna break my stride except for that stupid remote control and Gmail and the way my iPhone works, and I can't figure anything out. Beautiful. Oh no. One of my favorite tunes. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys, desperately trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
What are we doing here?
Do you feel like it's gotten harder to do this stuff? I thought it would get easier over time, right? I thought two things would converge. One, a generation like yours, grown up with technology, internet natives, it would be in your blood. You'd go, well, give me that thing. Oh, yeah. See, it's easy.
The problem is how we have moved to this obscurification of controls. So over time, in order to simplify things, we've not given people the power, like tinkerers. I'm a tinkerer. I want to get at the underlying, the switches to flip. What are those called? Those dip switches to flip, but technologically speaking. Now, like the most recent version of macOS, it's like you have this 12-foot pole and the buttons are on the other side and you're trying to poke those buttons, but the pole is moving up and down.
Fly-by-wire instead of direct. That's actually a philosophical thing, and I think you can kind of blame Johnny Ive at Apple. He was the chief designer for years, or maybe Steve Jobs, because I think Johnny actually liked physical affordances. Those are called affordances, the switches, the buttons. And I think he was kind of a fond of physical affordances. But I remember Steve Jobs saying, why have a button when you could have a thing on the screen that could be anything and change depending on the context that you're in? And that's when things became kind of confusing. Although I have to say, part of the problem I had with my mom's TV was this physical remote with a physical button that just didn't behave as expected. So, but
It's all trying to do too much.
trying to do too much. That's
Right.
exactly
I
it.
want to be able to have something go wrong on my computer. That's fine. That happens. But then be able to know very easily, to go into the logs and be able to do that. That's what we used to do. And I think that because all of these companies, the Wi-Fi routers, the printers, they're all trying to make it so you plug it in and it immediately starts working. But in doing so, it becomes harder to get at those underlying troubleshooting stuff, those steps that we know how to do, because they're trying to make it so simple for everyone. And so we don't have as much control over the technology as we used to. And I think that that's where the issue comes from, where everything is just being sort of taken out of the hands of the user to make things simpler. And when it goes wrong, it's not simpler to fix because you have to practically jailbreak the device in order to get it to respond to the commands that you're trying to give it.
Also, and again, I thought that, and I think engineers think that by now people should understand how this stuff works. Engineers do. This is this genetic difference that people who are inclined this way kind of get it. They and we've all experienced that. The nerd who sits down at your computer says, "What? It's easy. Look here," and boom, it's done. And you go, "What did you do?"
Right.
Well,
How'd you do
I
that?
can't explain it, but it's and I think by now, and those, by the way, are the people who design the hardware and the software. That's who does it. And I think by now they figure, well, you guys must have figured this out. In the early days of computing, they made directories look like little manila file folders, and files look like actual pieces of paper. And you'd have a phone icon for your phone because they figured, well, people need some connection between the physical world they're used to and this new digital world. But that's faded out, hasn't it? Because they go, well, you know how it works.
Yeah, and a lot of systems. There was just that story about the computer professor who was talking about how their students weren't really understanding of a file system, and they didn't know what it meant to download fonts and put them in a particular folder because they don't think
We
in
thought
that
you
same
guys
way.
would understand this.
Yeah.
We were hoping. In the early days of the World Wide Web, if a piece of text was a link to a web page, you may not even remember this, it would be underlined in blue. And
I remember this.
Do you remember this? And when you clicked it, it turned purple, and that was a signal that you had been, it was what they call visited.
Yep.
When's the last time you saw an underlined blue link or a purple link? No, you don't know if something's a link now until you put your mouse over it and it changes to an obscure shape of some kind. It's all become hieroglyphs.
Yeah, and they're trying. It's the Wizard of Oz. They're trying to put all of that magic behind, or all the thinking that's going on behind that curtain. Don't make people think about all that stuff. Don't make them, worry about all of that stuff. But we need to be able to worry about that stuff to get things fixed.
When you have a little niece, she's how old?
She is under a year.
When she's
No,
too old.
she's not. No, she's not. Never mind. She's 3.
But she uses an iPad by now, probably. No.
She likes phones.
Okay, smartphones.
She'll take a phone and
does she kind of get how it works?
yes,
Yeah,
she
you don't
can
have to
hang up,
explain
she
it.
can- yeah, exactly.
Our friend Denise Howell used to talk about how her son knew intuitively. You pick up an iPad, and Phineas and Ferb would be running on the iPad within seconds. He didn't know that you go to Netflix. And
Right.
He just knew you do this, and there's Phineas and Ferb.
Mm-hmm.
Ben on the line from Louisville, Kentucky. Hi, Ben. Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent, your tech guys.
Hey, Leo, how are you today?
Very well. How are you?
Having a really tough time with my MacBook keyboard.
Uh-oh. Which vintage MacBook do you have?
2013.
Let's see. That's not Butterfly. That's pre-Butterfly. What's going on with your keyboard?
Well, it's a 15-inch MacBook that came with Mavericks on it. And the problem with it is that the keys are starting to have to be hard-pressed to click on them.
Yeah. They wear. The switches wear.
Yeah, they're wearing out.
Yep.
And my dad looked at it. He tried to get them back working and whatnot. And
Did he pry them off and put, try to clean the conduit? Pry. You can on these older ones.
Pried off the keys, tried to clean them out, the whole 9 yards with some rubbing alcohol and a toothbrush.
Improve the contacts, right. Yep.
Right, and that did nothing about the clicking and whatnot.
I think they're worn, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. So we looked up a repair video on one of my other laptops, and it's kind of proving a pain in the neck. So I showed him the video. He's like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Your dad sounds like he's the tech guy in the family. It's funny. So I'm going to send you to...
You know as well as I do that taking apart those MacBooks is a pain in the neck.
Pain in the neck. You can replace the keyboard. iFixit.
Not easy to do.
Well, yeah, it's a 3-star difficulty. It's as difficult as you can get. 49 steps. Takes 2 to 4 hours.
Wow.
But I'm going to give you the link to this guide. You could at least look at it. They do sell the part. Probably what you should do is take it to Apple.
And high difficulty, huh?
It's the highest level of difficulty on the scale.
My dad and I are not very trained in this kind of a thing.
Yeah, this is more for a pro at Apple. I bet you, though, that Apple can do it for a fee.
And it would probably be a lot as much as getting a new machine, wouldn't it?
Not necessarily. For them, they give them tools and training, and they have special tools that you may not have, and they don't have to put it in a microwave oven to loosen the glue and things like that.
I think it's well worth taking it into Apple first just to see, because you could end up saving a lot of money if you want to keep using it before you hop.
A lot of people keep those 2013 to 2015 MacBooks because of the keyboard, believe it or not.
Right. Well, here's the thing, guys. We already talked about it, and we are actually already looking at a slightly newer machine, not a new one, but 2017 at the minimum.
Honestly, if I were you, if you're going to get a new Mac, I would not get an Intel Mac. Because it's really the end of the line. They don't want to support them anymore. The new Intel, the new Apple Silicon is so much faster. What is that 2017 going to cost you?
$600 roughly.
Okay.
And that's as far as he's willing to go.
He won't go any farther, because for $899 he could get a MacBook Air, an M1 MacBook Air, which seems like that would be a lot more headroom, a lot more longevity. But yeah, 2017, fine. That's going to have the worst keyboard you ever saw. Leo Laporte, Michael Sargent, your tech guys. More after this. That's the butterfly keyboard era, which started in 2016 and ended in 2020.
Right.
Nobody is lamenting the loss.
No, I get that, Leo. Well, like I said, the highest he's willing to go is $600 at a max.
Maybe. So what does he do with a computer?
Well, he's retired from IBM. He worked there for several years, and he's not making any money right now, nor am I. And we're just trying.
Does he want to program computers? Does he want to just answer email and surf the web?
No. All we're doing is getting me a new MacBook. Well, not new, but close enough that we just want to get something that'll last, that won't have the same problem, nothing like that.
But what do you do with it?
I was going to get an Apple Watch, but that we had to push back because this MacBook incident hit us, and we're just trying to get something that works and that, like I said, won't have the same crappy keyboard problem that I just encountered. So
you can always plug in an external keyboard or have a Bluetooth keyboard.
I know, Micah, but the problem is that I have really large hands. I'm 6'7" tall and got these humongous hands, and an external Bluetooth or USB keyboard is not a really good long-term solution, I hate to tell you.
Who's selling the 2017?
eBay.
So that's another issue. You understand the risk.
I sent him go ahead.
You understand the risk of buying on eBay.
Yes, I know that the same problem with this newer one could surface again. I know that. And plus, it's pre-owned, and I don't really trust buying pre-owned laptops.
Plus, there's a lot of rip-offs on there, and I mean, it's very risky.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a.
And then taking your advice and saying, hey, as much as I'd love to stick with the price point that we have, I was told by you that we can get a $900 MacBook.
Saving money on eBay is often a bad idea.
Yep.
Not always. Not always. Now, the reason I asked you what you do with the computer is because maybe a Mac is not these are premium priced. All Macs are overpriced because you pay a premium for the Mac.
Yeah, and I don't want to do a Hackintosh laptop.
Well, I'm going to say if you don't need a Mac, you may not need a Mac. You could get a Chromebook in that price range that would be beautiful, would work well.
You see, I like to do a lot of heavy video games, and I already have a gaming laptop.
I got it. Okay, that's what I was asking.
I have a gaming laptop,
Yeah,
and I do like the Mac OS interface quite a lot. And it would primarily be like, for studying tests and things like that. And, because I am a college student who's looking into getting into computer.
I remember you, Ben. I know. Yeah, I remember you well. So, Scooter X has found a refurbed MacBook Air from Apple. When you buy refurb from Apple, that's as good as buying new.
Yeah.
For $850. He put it in the.
That's not too bad, actually. Is it M1 or is it M2?
It's M1. It's only going to have probably 8 gigs of RAM, not more, but and a 256 gig hard drive.
Plenty for a guy who's just planning to do
probably
schoolwork and crap.
Yeah. So I would.
I'll be looking for that if you can put it in the show notes.
We will link it.
That would be good.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben.
Cool. Well, I'll look at that and I'll look for it and I'll go from there.
I think that'd be a better way to go, honestly, than taking a chance on eBay and all that.
For that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Back to Mr. Wilkinsonian. Our Wilkinson. All yours, my friend.
Thank you. I was listening to that conversation, and if he got a 2017 MacBook in order to avoid a keyboard problem, he'd be getting another keyboard problem because it's a butterfly keyboard.
It's those horrible butterfly keyboards.
Butterfly keyboard. Yeah. So I would agree with you 100%. Don't do it.
Yep.
I would push the budget. I absolutely agree with you 100%. Push the budget. Get a.
Well, it's hard. I don't want to be insensitive
it's hard.
to people.
I know. Yeah, I know.
They're both out of work. It's it's a tough time.
Yeah. In which case, then maybe replace that keyboard in their current one.
That'll be less.
How much is that?
That'll be less. That'll probably. I don't know what Apple would charge.
A couple $100.
You should go to Apple, and that might be actually the most economical. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to let you have the floor. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee.
Go get a cup of coffee. And hello, everyone, again. So nice to see you all. I got a bunch of congratulations in the chat room for the new house. Thank you. Somebody asked, Phoenix Warp 1 said, doesn't that mean you now have to pack up again and move everything? Yes, it does. We're going to get Scott Cave 3.0. Yes, you are. And somebody else said, I hope you have a good podcast studio. Well, I've got my office, which will be my podcast studio, as it has always been. And somebody else asked if we have an amphitheater in the backyard. Sadly, no. There was one house we saw. It was 2 stories, but it had a ginormous backyard, which actually had sort of a natural amphitheater. And I would have been really happy to put an amphitheater in there. And that would have been awesome. Just awesome. But it actually sold for a little more than we could afford, and it was 2-story. So we said we passed on it before we knew what it would sell for, and it sold for a lot because it was a really great house. So no, we don't have much of a backyard at all. Now, we're not outdoor people that much, so having a big backyard isn't that important. It does have room for a hot tub, which we will definitely get because that's important to me. But we will not be having any outdoor concerts, except maybe on the cul-de-sac. We've been told that the other houses on the cul-de-sac really love music, or the people that live there anyway. And so who knows? Maybe we'll do a concert on the cul-de-sac. That'd be fun. But thanks for all the good wishes for a successful close. May it be so. Hey, Himtez, good to see you. Gumby, do you have a helipad? No, sorry, no helipad. Twisted Mister, I'm virtually certain there's going to be good internet available. It's right in town. I have no doubt of that whatsoever. Beatmaster, thank you so much for your congrats on the AVS Forum podcast. Yeah, it's been really fun and very successful so far. The latest one is just up. I was talking with Chuck Back at Trinov about immersive audio, and so that was really fun. Graveyard Tuba, yeah, very smart to buy a one-story home, exactly. Now, here's the interesting thing about this particular house. It has a ginormous attic, so big that it could be developed into an entire second story. At the moment, it's completely undeveloped. And we're not going to use it at all. We're not going to develop it. But when we sell the house, we can say, hey, you want to build a second story into an existing structure? You can do it. So hopefully that will be a selling point when we sell it eventually. Somebody else asked if we had a good home inspection. The answer is yes, we do. And it's a pretty new home. It was only built in 2008. So, and it's got all brand new appliances. So, and the inspection report is very good. So we're happy about that. Twisted Mister says, never assume. My office is in the middle of the San Fernando Valley, and AT&T's fiber ends at the corner, and they won't service my 24-unit building. Yeah, I get that. But here in Santa Cruz, we have Xfinity, and I'm getting 600 megabits per second down with copper. And I would be shocked and appalled, I tell you, if they did not offer service into this neighborhood, into that street. I think the chance is negligible. CJ, I don't know if they have fiber. I'll have to see if they have fiber to get gigabit, but at 600 megabits, that's still really good. So I'm not too worried about it. Thank you, user 1769. Dr. Mom, Grandma, yeah, no, the appliances are brand new. The 14-year-old appliances aren't new, I agree. But the owner, before they put it up on the market, put in brand new appliances. So they're...
Well, hey. How are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Micah Sargent, tech guy 2. Hello, tech guy 2.
Hello, Leo.
Hello. 8888, ask Leo, the phone number, 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada, outside that area. You could still call, but you're going to have to use Skype out or something like that. Computers are so expensive. I feel, I know Ben our last caller wanted to get a computer for $500 or $100 and wanted to get a Mac, but boy, you buy something on eBay that's already 5 years old. You don't know who you're getting it from or what problems it had. Plus, it's already got a terrible keyboard because it's the butterfly keyboard era, which was a very misguided time in Apple's history. And I don't know. I just think it's probably better to just do something else.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Like, if I could, I would get my whole family MacBooks, not only because I trust those systems, but because I know how to use them, so I can be able to help them out
that's
with
important.
those systems. You know what I mean?
Often that's the first question I ask: who's going to give you tech support, and what system do they know?
Right? What do they know exactly? But these devices are very expensive, and as you said earlier, they do come at a premium cost, and so that is something I know that we are always trying to balance. Is when someone does come with a budget, you go, is there any way you can push it in the case where it needs to be pushed? And you're just really running the risk by getting from eBay. You don't know for sure. And you could end up just being completely out $600 entirely by doing that. And that's what's scary.
Yeah. And I know, I'm not insensitive to the fact that this stuff is expensive and times are tight. I mean, we're in a recession. Inflation's through the roof. You got to buy $8 gas. Yeah, I know you don't have a lot of money to spend on a computer. That's why I often recommend Chromebooks. They're less expensive. Even a Windows machine, you could get a good, credible, competent Windows machine for $600. You're not going to get a good Apple for $600.
No.
8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number, 888-827-5536. I mentioned the website. We're going to put that link on how to do it yourself to do a repair on that keyboard. Woo! I mentioned that link. We'll put it up on our website, techguylabs.com. All the links go there. kind of after the fact. TechGuyLabs.com, also audio and video, and a transcript of the show so you can find the information you're looking for. Patrick's next, Redding, California. Hello, Patrick. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys.
Hello, Leo.
Hello, Patrick. Welcome.
I got the Wyze camera on your suggestion.
Okay.
And it was working fine.
Yeah.
And I'm playing with it right now, and I think it's more of a connection problem rather than an app problem, because it's just saying network not steadier and stuff. It connects for about. It's doing the best it has yet. At least today, it's connecting. It's trying to connect right now.
Patrick, do you know which one you have, which model of Wyze Cam? Because there are lots of different versions. There's the Wyze Cam. Yeah, go ahead.
It was the one you were recommending a few months back, the $34, $30-some one. I don't remember exactly. It was
their basic camera.
The basic one.
Yeah. And you're using it inside. How far away from the router is it?
Right now, 10, 15 feet. 10 feet.
It's in the same room, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's I always say Wi-Fi works best line of sight. That's line of sight.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was working fine up until of course, right when I'm getting ready to leave, I stick it in the living room. I'm going on vacation. I thought I'd stick it in the living room. Somebody comes in the front door, I would see, because I just have one.
It senses motion and sound, and it would send you an alert on your phone saying, "Hey, there's somebody in here." That's great.
Well, yeah, it wasn't working at all. I've tried it 4 or 5 times since, but now today, at least it connects for all of 10 seconds. I've gotten up to about 10 seconds. Connects for 1, 2, 3 seconds, if that. Like, it's trying again to connect right now.
And have you gone through the whole process of sort of disconnecting it and starting fresh with the setup?
I've done that several times. I force stopped the app, and then I completely deleted the app and logged back in. Reinstalled and logged back in. Redid all the updates when so I have the freshest software. I have the freshest, everything.
So you're near the Wi-Fi router. I wonder, do you have a tri-band router? Does the router do 5 gigahertz as well as 2.4 gigahertz?
Yes.
Okay. So you really want to make sure that Wyze, and this is especially a problem if both bands have the same name, which most people set it up that way because it's just easier. You really want to make sure the Wyze is on the 2.4 gigahertz for a couple of reasons. One, probably doesn't even support 5 gigahertz, but also 2.4 travels better, is more robust, more reliable. I think that's definitely another thing to check, is to make sure it's using 2.4. That's sometimes a little hard to do.
Yeah, and bear with me, I'm slightly computer illiterate.
No, you sound pretty good to me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've only been listening to your show.
Yeah, well, good. You're talking the talk. Let's walk the walk now.
Just playing with it and saying, "Oh, that didn't work."
Good. I love it. So by walking the walk, I mean, let's take that camera far. No, let's not. You could. That's one way to put something on 2.4 gigahertz because it goes farther. This is the worst case scenario. You move the device as far away from the router as possible so it's not seeing the 5 gigahertz, and then you join the router, and then as you get closer, it'll stay on 2.4. It would kind of explain how it worked for a while and then it stopped working, is if it saw the 5 gigahertz. Easier if your router allows you, for instance, to turn off the 5 gigahertz radio, turn it off just temporarily. Or to name the 2.4 gigahertz differently from the 5 gigahertz. That's an inconvenience because most devices can swap back and forth without a problem. It's just it's typically IoT devices, Internet of Things devices, like this camera that really you want to put on 2.4. In fact, on my home system, I've actually got 2 networks, a 2.4 gigahertz and a 5 gigahertz, and I relegate all the IoT devices to the 2.4 gigahertz. But I have a kind of a fancier router that lets me do that. So that's one thing, to look in your router and see if you can just turn off the 5 gigahertz radio just long enough to repair the Wyze to the 2.4.
I have my Chromebook open. How do I get into my router?
That depends on the router. The router manual, I laugh when I say manual these days. The pamphlet might have told you how. What kind of router is it? What's the manufacturer?
It's, let me see here. I pull up my Wi-Fi and it'll.
Well, just the brand name of the router.
Netgear 79.
Okay.
Is the one it's connecting to.
So
it separates it Netgear 79 to Netgear 79 5G.
So it does separate it.
On my phone, it's scanning.
Good. Yeah. So it sees the. Okay. So presumably with the Wyze, you joined the not 5G, and that's what you. I would try that again and make sure you're on the not 5G.
So completely.
You always want IoT devices to be on 2.4 for several reasons.
I wanted to figure out how do I set it up again, because I just logged on and went right back in. So how do I go back into setups in the Wyze?
I can't remember how you do that on the Wyze. Probably in the app. You probably have to.
Yeah, it's got to be in the.
Yeah, I would say in the app, it'll have a reset of some kind, and then you'll do the same thing you did with the app, which is you'll.
Yeah, set it up fresh.
Set it up fresh.
I've got a link in the support or in the show notes for you with the support document that talks about resetting that.
Yeah. Since your Netgear is naming 5G separately from 2.4, make sure it's on the 2.4. That'll work better. You'll have fewer dropouts. I can't think any other reason why that. Unless there's a problem with the Wyze. I think their support's pretty good, though, right? If
they
have
are
a problem,
pretty good about that.
you can call them up and say,
or chat them on their website.
I got some problem. Yeah, and it's not doing that. They might even have some suggestions that come from their vast experience with non-working cameras. They're pretty good. I have to say, I've stopped recommending Wyze.
Yes, same.
Because they had a security flaw, which they hid. Now, you bought that camera fairly recently, so you're okay. All the new cameras are fixed. But the people who had the original version 1 Wyze Cam, which includes you and me, and I presume many people to whom I recommended this camera, a flaw was found, a flaw they couldn't fix that allowed a bad guy to access not just your camera, but get into your network through the camera. Wyze initially ignored the report that there was a problem, then downplayed it and denied it. Finally, offered a firmware upgrade for their other cameras, but they cannot upgrade this one. And I think their handling of it was so terrible, so inexcusably bad, that I have of late not been recommending them. You agree?
Yep, I'm right there with you. That's what I stopped recommending after they did that. It's awful. And it's sad because they were one company that I could point to where I could say you don't have to spend as much, but you don't have to worry about the quality being less. That you can still get a device or a product that is going to work, but you don't have to spend as much money for it. And that is a rare thing.
Yeah.
And so it's
$30
really sad
camera.
that they did this.
Hey, the show today brought to you by Cisco Meraki, the experts in cloud-based networking for hybrid work. Hey, whether you like it or not, hybrid work is the wave of the future. It's here right now, whether your employees are working at home, at a cabin in the mountains, at a lounge chair on the beach. The cloud-managed network provides, or needs to provide anyway, the same exceptional work experience no matter where they are. You might as well roll out the welcome mat. Hybrid work is here to stay. Hybrid work works best in the cloud. And honestly, there's perks both for your employees and for leaders. Workers can move faster, deliver better results. They're certainly happier in many cases with a cloud-managed network. Whether they're at home, on the beach, or in the office, it's the same, and that's the beauty of it. And leaders love it because they can automate distributed operations. They can build more sustainable workspaces, proactively protect the network. Yes, security is really important too, isn't it, with all this? An IDG Market Pulse research report conducted for Meraki highlights the top-tier opportunities in supporting hybrid work. It's, according to this study, which is interesting, a priority for 78% of C-suite executives. I think they know it's good for business, it's good for their employees. Leaders want to drive collaboration forward. They want to stay on top, of course, of boosting productivity and security, and I think you can do both. Hybrid work has its challenges. The IDG report raises the red flag about security, of course. 48% of leaders reported cybersecurity threats as the #1 obstacle to improving workforce experiences. And part of what makes the Cisco Meraki Cloud so great is it is absolutely always on security, so you can use it with confidence. IT can use apps from Meraki's vast ecosystem of partners, turnkey solutions to build to work seamlessly within the Meraki Cloud platform for asset tracking, for location analytics, and more. And it's actually really cool because it's so supportive of hybrid work that you can use it to gather insights about how people use their workspaces. You can, in fact, have environmental sensors in a smart space that can track activity and occupancy levels, helps you stay on top of cleanliness, and also makes it easy to reserve workspaces, to allocate it, to have enough but not too much based on vacancy and employee profiles. You can do hot desking, which means employees can come into an office, scout out a desk, use it, have it reserved, waiting for them. And because you're in the Meraki Cloud, you've got all your data, you've got everything, all your apps, you've got everything you need, no matter where you're sitting. Locations in restricted environments can be booked in advance. They can include time-based door access. You have absolute control, and that's what you need. And, of course, MDM's built-in mobile device management, integrating devices and systems, which means IT can manage, update, and troubleshoot company-owned devices even when the device and employee are off-prem somewhere else, right? Really, the whole point here is to turn any space into a place of productivity, to empower your organization with the same exceptional and secure experience no matter where they work. And you can do it with Meraki and the Cisco suite of technology. Learn how your organization can make hybrid work work. Visit meraki.cisco.com/twit. MERAKI, Meraki.cisco.com/twit. Hybrid works here. Let's do it right. Right? Meraki.cisco.com/twit. We thank you so much for supporting the Tech Guy show. Now back we go. We should make this the theme song for the show. Was younger, so much young. Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent, your tech guys. That's what we're doing. We're helping. I'm helping. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. 888-827-5536. Jeff is... No Beatles died, right? I should ask. No. Jeff is a... No. Laura doesn't just play songs from people who've recently passed.
Correct.
Right? Right. Good. Okay, just clarifying that. It's that way on Twitter, too.
If you see a name trending... I will scream.
Yeah, I know. We were listening to Beyonce on the ride home from the airport yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And I said, I know some Beyonce fans. Queen Bee. Jeff on the line from Menifee, California. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Leo. That was an awesome song.
Isn't that a great song? I love that song.
Oh, yeah. That was perfect.
If you can.
So I need help, and long-time listener, first-time caller here. I built an Intel chip rig. I built a rig in 2010, first-generation i7, first or second. And it still has the original fan on top of the CPU to keep it cool. And that fan plugs into the motherboard. It fastens with those 4 types of clips where you push them down and they clip in.
Yeah.
And they've got, they're just plastic, little teeth that connect to the back of the motherboard. And well, anyway, one of those broke off, and I've been kind of hobbling now with 3 of those.
So you have a wobbly fan.
Yeah, and I got to be real careful when I put it back into my office so it doesn't tilt or, and it works okay, but if my wife comes along and starts dusting and she knocks into it, I get heating issues.
Yeah. I get hot when my wife dusts too. I understand. I should have said that. You should see the look I got from Micah. I couldn't resist, Micah. Sometimes the chauvinist in me comes out. So you want some way to better attach that. I've actually never heard of fans being clipped in. That doesn't seem like the best way.
Well, they've got these CPU fan mounting clips. They're black. They got like a white insert, and they're part of the fan.
Oh, I see. So it's actually mounted on. So the fan is part of the heat sink. So it's clipped onto the heat sink, is what it is.
Yeah, and you clip it down, and the whole thing fits over. You put your thermal paste on there, and you clip the whole thing down.
Yeah, I have seen that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I'm I went online, and everything I see is for a socket 77 I think it is. And I go back to what they called, I think, a 1366, but I don't know if those numbers are even relevant. I'm just wondering if that clip is universal for all the Intel.
According to a guy named Melon Muck, so I don't know if you want to trust him. People in the chat room have the funniest names. Melon Muck says Amazon still sells mounting plastic pins for LGA 775 socket CPU cooler heatsink fans, $8.99 for a pack of 20.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I can see here. I'm looking at that. Will that work for my 2010 Intel, setup?
Yeah, I can't imagine that the sockets are different. The sockets change.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I mean, the hole that's going into is the same. I bet you it'd work, and since it's only $9 to try it.
Right.
Yeah.
When you look at the picture, all right, so you're on that Amazon listing? Because there is a picture, the fourth picture down has a picture of it with the heat sink kind of as it would be on the chip. And if it looks similar, then I would say go for it.
Yeah, these clips look exactly like the ones I have, but I couldn't tell in the pictures if they were shorter, stubbier.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. What socket do you have again?
So the one I've got, they say it's a 1366.
Okay.
And everything I see online is like 775, but again, I don't know if that's relevant to the size of the clip,
Again with the chat room, a guy named Scooter X. I don't know who that. Scooter X has found 1366 sockets on eBay. So we're going to put a link in the chat room to that. Okay. All the same clips. In fact, you can get the bracket, get a new bracket if you want. And then the clips go in the bracket, or you can just get the clips by themselves, and it's cheap.
Okay, so he did find a 1366.
He found a 1366 socket B computer fan, heatsink brackets, and accessories. And there are a bunch of them.
Okay, cool.
I think you're good. Right. You're golden. This is the beauty. And I have to say, people sometimes say, should I build my own computer? And I often say no, because you're not going to save money. But the beauty of it is you've got an investment in it. You've got you've got your finger in the pie there. And I think it's great to continue. And this is fun. So go do it.
It is.
Yep. Shade Tree Mechanic.
Every 4 or 5 years, and I keep up that way. It's good.
Beautiful. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. This is why you build your own computer, because it's for stuff like this. And it's analogous to classic cars or anything else, right?
Got to give it a tune-up every once in a while.
Yeah, I love it. eBay is your friend for stuff like this, Jeff.
This is where it makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you spend $8 on these brackets, you're not going to get ripped off. I wouldn't buy a laptop on eBay, but this is perfect.
Yeah. The worst case scenario is it ends up in my box of goodies for the future.
For future builds, exactly.
That's right.
It looks like you can buy, any part of this. It's very interesting. So I would just we'll put that link in the show notes, and if you're not in the chat room, you can see it in the show notes. Thank you, Scooter X, for finding
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Take care, buddy.
All right, take care. This is where the chat room is so awesome.
I love our chat room.
So cool. Johnny Jet.
Hey, how are you guys?
Still stuck in Toronto, huh?
Still stuck here. I'm kidding. It's Canada. It was Canada Day yesterday, so
happy belated Canada Day, Canada.
I got my Independence Day shirt on, ready for Monday.
You're wearing your Canada Pride shirt.
No, I was wearing my all red yesterday. Yeah.
Nice. Welcome.
But So did you go to Rhode Island?
I did, but I forgot. I can't believe I did this.
You didn't take your CO2?
I forgot my CO2.
Oh, Leo. The build-up.
I know. Well, I'm going on another flight in 2 weeks, so I'll do it on that one. But I kind of...
How was it?
It was easy. I was so prepared for a nightmare. No delays.
Great. JetBlue?
JetBlue.
JetBlue has been faring them. Spirit and Frontier have been doing the best because they are the ones that had the meltdowns over spring break. So they learned. So they cut their schedules in advance. Now the other ones, American and Delta are just getting hammered.
The flights were full. There were no empty seats.
Yep.
But it was easy peasy. TSA lines were short.
What time did you fly?
10 a.m., 11 a.m., something like that. Morning,
Okay, yeah,
not
you-
early
you-
morning, mid morning.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good time because you beat the morning crush.
Yeah. And even though it was a holiday weekend, it was easy coming home yesterday. Traffic wasn't great once I got home, but the flights couldn't have been easier. Got a rental car from Hertz, no problems at all.
Didn't get arrested?
Didn't get arrested. They drove a nice Jeep. Very nice. I hadn't driven a gas car in a few years. It was a little
Nice.
weird.
And how's your mom doing?
And my mom is great. It was so great to see her. I understand why you go see your dad so often. And the nice thing for me going back there is that's where I grew up. So it is very resonant, you know.
For sure.
It was really fun. We went to our favorite
Lobster
clam
roll?
cake. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, actually, I didn't have a lobster roll. My daughter and my mom did. I'm not a huge lobster fan.
Man, I am now. I used to not be growing up.
It's funny. I was
out
nothing but when I was a kid. That was the treat of the moment, is to go to where did we go? There was this, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, go have a lobster, wear the bib, the whole thing. But for some reason, the last few years, I've kind of gone off the lobster. It's so rich. I like crab. We have such good crab here.
Right.
But anyway,
Dungeness crab, is that what it is?
but I had what my favorite Rhode Island treat, clam cakes.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Oh, baby, you just haven't had the best clam cake. That's all. Dune Brothers, man, they're a newer place. They're not one of the classics. We went there 2 days in a row. My mom and I just so good.
So when you going back?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, I probably will go back in the fall, in September. June in Rhode Island, as I'm sure is true in Toronto too, is gorgeous. It's green.
Totally.
It's beautiful. The birds are singing.
I'd rather
nice.
be on the East Coast in the summertime.
Yeah, it's really.
Than the West
it's a little
Coast.
arid here, and it's so beautiful there. So that was nice. He's been everywhere, friends. He's Johnny Jet, our traveling guy, still in Toronto visiting family and having a great time. I betcha. Happy Canada Day.
Thank you. That was yesterday. Did a little staycation this week. Went downtown. Stayed 2 nights at the Park Hyatt.
Oh, I know the Park Hyatt. Yeah.
Across from the ROM, the
Yeah.
Royal Ontario Museum.
I love Toronto. I used to go do a TV show there 1 week a month and stayed in many of the hotels. I ended up settling a place down Queen Street towards the end there called the Drake, which is kind of a hipster hotel.
Yes.
But I love it.
It's been a while. I think I stayed there once, but it was over a decade
They have
ago.
a
It's probably when I
rooftop
did your
restaurant.
show.
Yeah, probably when you did the show. I probably told you to stay there.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And we did some podcasts from the roof there. And it was so much fun. In fact, I liked it so much I reserved it for the next year, and then they canceled the show. So I think I got my money back. I don't remember.
Okay, that's good.
Anyway, were there fireworks last night?
You know what? There was. I looked out the window. They were all over, but I wasn't downtown, so I did not see if they were downtown. I'm sure they were, but it was not a great day yesterday. It was cloudy, a little bit of rain.
Favorite thing I ever did, and I almost did it this time, I thought about it, is to fly on the 4th of July at night. I flew cross country many years ago, and you fly over every little town's fireworks display.
Yes.
And it's the most magical thing.
Thanks for the reminder, because I'm thinking about popping down to go see my dad in Connecticut, and I fly into New York, and I was like, you know what? I should do it 4th of July night.
You should go via Chicago or something, so you get to see all the.
Listen, I grew up in Connecticut, and see the whole Long Island Sound. You would literally see 20 different
It's all lit
fireworks
up.
shows going
Yeah.
off.
It's quite beautiful. You got to time it so that you're over the over about 9 p.m. 9 between 9 and 9:30.
9:15.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely, it's a way to do it.
I'll never
And
forget it.
people
I
are
only
out
did it
there.
once. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
So yesterday you were part of the one of the record days for
really
security checkpoints. 2.49 million people went through. In pre-pandemic, it was 2.1, almost 2.2. So it was actually surpassed it.
More people traveling yesterday than usual.
Yes.
I was really prepared. We left really early for the airport, and I said, Abby, they were going to have rush hour traffic. We were going from Providence to Logan Airport out of Boston. I said, we're going to have rush hour traffic. We got to get there early. TSA lines are going to be huge. We just don't know what's going on, and it couldn't have been easier. There was no traffic. The lines were short. We had a 10:30 flight. We got there at like 8:30 for a 10:30. Oh, and I had to return a rental car. And, you know, with as many airports now, the rental car facility's off airport. So there's a bus and, you know, it's a kind of a big process. But it couldn't have been easier. We were there in plenty of time.
Did you check a bag?
Okay, so this was a great a teaching moment for my 30-year-old daughter. I said, honey, pack light. We're gonna carry on, right? She arrived with a duffel bag. As it turned out, after we got home, she said, you know, Dad, the biggest part of that was a terry cloth robe, which I never wore in the whole trip. She said, I could have done Jack. So for something that happened at Logan getting off the airplane, and it took 2 hours before the bags came off. There were so many. That was one thing I noticed. There were a lot of flights on a single baggage. You know how they have those roundabouts?
Definitely, yes.
There were 4 or 5 flights using the same baggage carousel.
Weird.
And I think that was probably contributory to the delay. But I had my bag. I got off the plane. I had my bag. I had my stuff. I'm ready to go. But no, we got to go sit there on that carousel for an hour waiting for her bag.
That's the worst part. So do not check a bag if you can avoid it.
She learned.
Yeah,
and then getting to the airport, yesterday, we arrive. She gets in the wrong line. By the time she gets in the right line, you know, most airlines now do this. JetBlue, you check in, get your pass, get a little sticker, you put it on your bag, and then there's a bag drop line. The bag drop line was around the airport.
Again,
it was
avoid
huge.
checking bags.
They moved it.
Oh my word.
But there was only one person at the bag drop. They have 30 kiosks, one person manning them. So I think there was a labor shortage at Logan.
There definitely is. I saw a tweet the other day. I think it was 2 hours someone waited. I can't remember which airport. Just to drop their bag off.
You already checked in?
Exactly.
So, yeah, dude, if you can. And so Abby learned that lesson. She knows from now on, carry on. And she said, I could have done it, Dad. I just didn't think. She thought it was
I can't
better.
remember. Does JetBlue track their bags? I think they do on their app. I think you can. They'll give you an update on if the bag is.
I had an air tag in my bag.
And how did that work?
Yeah, I don't recommend it because you get a lot of alerts on your phone when you leave the hotel, when you do anything. You left your bag behind. But meanwhile, after I checked the bag, I never heard from it again. So I feel like there's not a lot of iPhones in the baggage.
There's definitely not in the baggage carousel area.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah,
because that's what they work off of. But you know, I have one in my bag. I never had a problem.
But I did have it just in case if you ever have a problem.
Yep.
And of course, I saved the baggage claim. Nobody ever checks the baggage claim ticket. But if you lose your bag, you need that to say, "Here, this is the bag. I want it back."
Gotcha.
So thanks to you, Johnny. You've trained me.
It is kind of interesting that people don't just start unloading all the luggage on those clothes.
No, I realized. I thought about that. Why doesn't somebody steal the bags? Because it's full of dirty underwear. That's
true.
why.
Why would you want it?
You do not want that bag. There's nothing good in it.
Bring the valuables on the plane and pack your dirty underwear and all that stuff in the
other thing I did,
check bag.
I was proud of. I brought a little Contigo thermos bottle, and I, of course, empty it out before you go through the TSA line. But every airport now has a water bottle filling station, and it was great. I had plenty of water. I filled it there, and I didn't use any plastic bottles the whole trip.
It's a way to go.
Proud of myself.
So yesterday was the day the airlines actually loaded their summer schedules. So if anyone has flights booked for this summer, check your flights now. Make sure that they weren't changed. You know, the airline should email you and notify you. So make sure whenever you make a reservation that all your information's up to date, and check those emails. Sometimes people think they're sales pitches. A lot of times they're like, your flight's been changed.
Ooh.
And what I also do is use expertflyer.com and set a seat alert. Most people set seat alerts for the seat they really want. Like, you know, if you book last minute, you only get stuck with the middle seat. Then you set the seat alert for a, bulkhead aisle or exit row aisle or window, and then get notified when that opens up, usually when frequent flyers are upgrading. But I set it for the seat that I'm in. That way I know if an airline has changed the plane, canceled the flight, or moved to me. And So that's a good way to figure that out.
I use TripIt Pro. I pay a little bit extra for TripIt.com, TRIPIT.
I have it too.
And they also will let you. In fact, TripIt's great. It'll say where your terminal is ahead of time. Kind of helps you get
turn-by-turn directions.
Yep.
I'll do.
And then I do another thing that my mom loves. I share every trip with her. So even if she can't go on the trips, she can at least see where I'm going. She says, it's like practically like going myself.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Somebody in the chat room saying, tell me if you can do this. He says, fill that thermos bottle with ice. The TSA will let you through with ice, not liquids, but ice is solid, and then it'll melt, and you'll have nice cold water in the plane. Does that work?
Yeah, it's got to be solid.
Wow.
You can. I mean, people. We talked about it before. You can do
just top it off.
Get frozen bottle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very clever. I'll have to try that next time.
It's difficult to do in the summertime.
Yes, because it melts.
Especially around here.
So, and that's another good tip is to have the app. All the airlines have apps now. Have the app. In fact, if you have an Apple Watch, a lot of times that Apple Watch will have will have your boarding pass on it, will have information on it, give you alerts.
Definitely.
That's very handy. I don't have to check flight trackers anymore. I know where I am.
You do. And if your flight is delayed or canceled, get in line, get on the app, and speak to them, and get on Twitter.
Yep. We wore our masks from beginning to end. As soon as we got to the airport, masks on. Didn't take them off until we left. We were among the few.
Yes.
I would say less than half now wearing masks.
And call an international call center, reservation center, if you get stuck.
JohnnyJet.com. That's the place to go. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It was funny because at the gate at Logan, our gate was next to a gate with people flying to Fort Lauderdale. The people in the Fort Lauderdale gate, nobody had a mask.
Oh, yeah.
The people in the San Francisco gate, it was about half. I thought, yeah, that's about right.
Yes, that's about right.
That's about right. But you know what? We tested every morning before we went to see my mom. I brought, a bunch of COVID rapid tests because the last thing I wanted to do is get my mom sick. And I know your dad's survived now twice, but I don't want 3 times. I don't want to take that chance. So we tested, and I think wearing the masks really works because I know there's somebody on that plane with COVID.
Oh, for sure.
Right now. And I feel like the masks, a good mask, an N95 mask, my Donald Duck masks.
Right.
I feel like, and Abby didn't want to wear the Donald Duck masks. She had regular N95s, but they work. And wash your hands. All the things you know what to do.
For sure. And were you in Mint, I hope?
No, I wasn't going to spend that kind of money.
I got it.
Although,
listen, sometimes you can get Mint for $5.30. Although this summer is very difficult, if not impossible.
Yeah, no, I love Mint. I've flown Mint, but it's a short flight. It wasn't so bad.
Right.
Although, as we're getting on the plane, Abby looks at the first row in Mint. Guy got on before everybody else and said, "That's Bradley Cooper." I said, that's not Bradley Cooper. He's wearing a mask. She said, no, it's definitely Bradley Cooper. So I don't know. Maybe we were flying with Bradley. I don't know.
Yeah, they usually celebrities get on first or last.
He was on well before anybody else was, and he had a mask.
It was usually 1A. Usually get on last.
Yeah, it was in 1A, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually 1A.
Wow.
Yeah, I wrote a post, actually. I should update it about how to sit next to a celeb on a plane, and that was one of the tips.
Get row 1.
Yeah. I've sat next to so many because I used to fly LA JFK every other weekend. And I was friends with all the gate agents, and they would upgrade me to business or first.
Nice.
For free. I paid the cheapest amount. And this is before 9/11.
So that's interesting. So, I don't care in fact, I almost don't want to sit next to Bradley Cooper. It's like, well, what am I going to say? Loved you in Silver Lining Playbook, but you really sucked it. Well, I just don't want to have that conversation. Did you and Gaga really get it on, or what? I just didn't have anything to say. So
I see.
I don't want to. I don't want to say anything.
I usually talk.
What do you say? I love you in that movie. What do you say?
No, I don't. Actually, one time I was flying New York, LA, and the woman from Will and Grace was in my seat, which was 1A, and she goes, "Oh, I really like this seat." Can I sit here?
God,
I'm
how
like,
entitled can you get?
I'm like, no.
I'm a movie star. Give me your seat.
So I was like, you know what? I actually prefer the aisle anyway. So I said, sure. This is back then when they had two, and I sat in 1B. But anyway, we talked a lot. She's from Rhode Island. We talked about Rhode Island.
Celebrities are just like you and me, and I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to talk to anybody. I never talked to anybody in the airplane. Sat next to somebody the whole flight out.
I love talking to people.
I prefer
not
to.
Yeah, you're the one. Like, I put the headphones on. I put the blinders on.
I've met some incredible people flying.
No, I should be more friendly.
My partner.
But I know if people don't want to talk to me, I won't talk. And sometimes I don't want to talk if I have a lot of work to do, but usually I do. Anyway.
Johnny, God bless you. How much longer are you going to be in Canada?
A couple more days.
Oh, give my regards to your dad. I now understand completely because I did not want to. I was bawling my eyes out when I was leaving. It was so hard to leave. See you, Johnny.
Take care.
Micah, the Tech Guy Show brought to you today by IT Pro TV. You've never met these guys. I want you to meet Tim and Don. They are so great. Lisa and I flew out to Gainesville to see this studio. So the whole idea was Tim and Don went to an NAB show I was at. I gave a panel with a bunch of other people, and we were talking about how we do Twit and how, this new form of broadcasting, it can be used in so many powerful ways. They were IT trainers, and they said, wouldn't it be cool if we could do IT training the way we do Twit? And that's when IT Pro TV was born. They have since opened their studios in Gainesville. That's where we went out a couple of years ago to visit. 7 studios running 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, creating the best content. They have the best trainers, people who not only are experts in the field, they've got to be that first and foremost, but also are so passionate, so engaged, loved IT so much that they are fun to watch. They're engaging, and that's really important. If you're getting an IT education, you want a platform that's not only going to give you the information you need to get to either a higher level of IT or get that first job, but you also want to have fun doing it. You don't want it to be hard because then you won't want to do it, right? You don't want it to be boring, and it's not. With IT Pro TV, it's entertaining. It's binge-worthy content. You get the best possible IT training and certifications with IT Pro TV, and you're going to get it on your schedule. That's the beauty of it. The programs are 20 to 30 minutes long. Those are the chapters and the longer, topic segments, which means you could watch it at lunch, during a break. You can watch it anywhere too, computer, big screen TV, whatever device you've got IT Pro TV. So that makes it easy to get to, easy to watch. Over a total of 5,800 hours of IT training. And because they're always updating it, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, they're always creating new content. You're always up to date. That's important, really important. And it's something you can't get, frankly, from books, from YouTube videos, from tech schools. That is really a focus, and it's important because the tests change, the questions change, the subject matter changes. There's always new versions of software. There's always new software. So there's a lot to do. You got to keep it up to date. Those 5,800 hours of IT training are always spot on, up to date. They've got virtual labs, which I love. So even if you don't have a Windows server, you can, in an HTML5 browser, any browser, you can create a server, you can spin it up, you can configure it, you can configure clients. I like it because when I screw up, I just close the tab. No one knows. But it gives you the chance, even if you don't have, a dozen machines, to really do it for real in these virtual labs. They have practice tests. If you're going to take an IT cert test, you definitely want to take the practice exam first, because then you're feeling like, I know what I'm going to get. I know what to expect. And I'm ready to take the exam, which is really, really nice. And of course, they support you 100% from beginning to end to help you choose the right career, help you train for it, and then help you get that job. Our one reviewer said, quote, best website to study IT and cybersecurity related courses. I like the part where they make a few courses free for a weekend. Well, we got one, a free weekend coming up. CompTIA, which is that basic cert. They have a series of basic certs that pretty much everybody in IT takes before they get that first job. CompTIA has a complete CompTIA weekend. It's coming up in 2 weeks, July 16th and 17th. So that's free, which is nice. Great way to get a taste of IT Pro TV. I don't want you to wait, honestly. I would like you to sign up today, but okay, if you really want to do that. There's also 2 free live webinars coming up this month. You can watch these on demand later, but it's good to go to the live one because then you can ask questions. Small Business Security, that's Wes Bryan and Eric Semmel, 2 of their best edutainers. Thursday, July 7th. That's this coming Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Heath Adams and Daniel Lowry are going to do a cybersecurity webinar Thursday, July 21st. That's also 2 p.m. Eastern. Nice to watch those live if you can. But again, they'll be on demand later. And this month, the focus is on CompTIA. So check out the CompTIA courses, the A+, Core 1 and Core 2 series, designed for professionals who support today's core technologies from security to networking to virtualization and more. The A+ cert, as I said, is a standard for launching IT careers, and there's no better place to get your certs than IT Pro TV. You'll learn about hardware, operating systems, networking, security, troubleshooting, everything you need to know to be a tech guy and get that first job. If you've got a team, by the way, don't forget IT Pro TV's business plans. Really great for teams. We'll talk about that another time. itpro.tv/twit. That's the website. Go there right now. You can get 30% off all consumer subscriptions as long as you stay active. Just use the code TWIT30, TWIT30, itpro.tv/twit. Offer code TWIT30 for an additional 30% off for the lifetime of your active subscription. IT Pro TV. Build or expand your IT career and enjoy the journey with the best people in the business. I love them. itpro.tv/twit. And don't forget that offer code TWIT30. Thank you, IT Pro TV. Now back to those tech guys. I feel the need for speed. We're riding into the techno zone. Micah Sargent, Leo Laporte, your tech guys, 8888 Ask Leo. Wait a minute. You just played Top Gun. Did Goose die?
Oh, no.
Oh, well. No, kidding. Just kidding. I know he died. I saw the movie. Just the other day, I saw the movie. I had never seen Top Gun.
I don't think I ever have either.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. I thought if I want to see the new Top Gun, I should see the old one first. And it was okay. It's, it's people love it because it's nostalgic, because they saw it in their youth.
Mustaches and shirtless men.
A lot of shirtless men.
You
the
can
volleyball
find those
game.
Anywhere, though.
Yeah, you can see that anywhere.
It wasn't in the past.
Yeah. Gary on the line from Costa Mesa, California. Hello, Gary. Leo and Micah, you're tech guys.
Hello, Leo and Micah.
Hello.
I'm the one who's told you before, I'm sure that I'm old enough to consider these new things as modern inconveniences, but I did pretty well figure out the Roku, what do you call it?
The inconvenience?
Remote control, because I have a TCL Roku. So what I'm suggesting is I was able to get a TCL manual off the internet.
Oh, that's what I need to do.
You can zoom in.
Yeah.
They have pictures and instructions in there for how to use it, and you can print appropriate pages and write notes on them for further instructions to your mom, and then send that to her whatever way.
Brilliant. Yeah, because the manual itself is probably unclear, but if I could snip little bits and pieces out, add some annotations, absolutely brilliant idea. I decided to do that because it took me forever to figure it out. It wasn't so much the remote by itself, it was the fact that there was a cable box remote, the TCL remote, and an Apple TV remote. The more you get, the complexity multiplies, right? Or it's more like squares.
Well, I get all of the anything you can get on a TV, including 1,100 channels, and
nice.
Without having a cable or a dish or any of those things. I just use, and in her case, she's low income enough. She probably gets whatever her state.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that comes for $10 a month on the phone company.
Roku is interesting because it has more than 2,000 hidden channels. On a Roku, you'll go to the store, the Roku store on the app, and then you'll see the main channels, Netflix and Amazon Prime and stuff like that. But Roku has more than 2,000. They call them private or secret channels. They're not really private or secret, but if you know the code, you don't get it in the App Store. You enter in the code in. Oh, wait a minute. Roku private channels do not work anymore as of February 23rd. Oh, never mind. They turned that feature off. That's annoying. That was such a cool thing. You could find the strangest, if you like cricket out of India, you could see all the cricket you could. Oh, that's too bad. Well, never mind.
Yeah, I watch the production things sometimes.
Yeah.
And as well as a lot of others, but there's 1,100 to choose from.
That's pretty amazing.
$1 a month.
Yeah.
And then, on that same internet for the phone, I have Magic Jack, and I forgot some annual fee that still is only a little bit each month. So you can get phone and TV and computer.
Sounds like you may call them inconveniences, but you figured it out, Gary. You got it. You're working it.
I've figured out that stuff. Yeah, I've also figured out how to get food and medical and other services for almost nothing. And I live in a tower building where I'm overlooking the Pacific Ocean, on which I learned to sail in my old years. And
now you're making me jealous.
Right.
You got it going on, Gary. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We should take care of our seniors, right? And as I'm 65, I'm getting there. I think that we have to honor the people who made this world for us.
Yeah, well, I've been watching the world for 15 years, longer than you have.
I hope I get 15 more. There's a lot more to see still.
Yeah, there is, and I have a lot more to do myself too.
Nice. Do you still sail?
I haven't. No, family sold boats, and I had been doing other things. I went car racing though instead. Okay. But for a while,
you're staying pretty active. That's good.
I continued his sailboat race winning tradition and some car race winning.
Wonderful.
Later.
What kind? Stock cars or what kind of?
Vintage road racing. Wow. I built a historic representation of the 1956 Thunderbird that Chuck Day drove at the Daytona Speed Trials.
What fun! Oh my!
We raced in the vintage road races in the Class A and B against the Mustangs, Cobras, Tigers, Corvettes, and Camaros, all 10-year newer cars, and we were right up in the top 10 of those.
Well done. Very few cars more beautiful than that classic Thunderbird. Those T-Birds are beautiful. Was it you said 59? Very nice year.
56.
The year I was born. I could just see Marilyn Monroe driving around in that with her hair flowing in her scarf. Yeah. Gary, a pleasure talking to you. That's a great tip. I'm going to do that for my mom for sure. Mark on the line from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Hello, Mark. Leo and Micah, you're tech guys.
Hi, Leo. Hey, I know you don't like printers, and I don't either.
I love printers. I don't like printer questions. Go ahead.
Okay. I got an HP PhotoSmart InkJet, and years ago we got this error code, and it wouldn't print. So I called HP. I called the big box squad, and they both told me you couldn't fix it. Okay,
wow.
So after I fixed it, it for a couple years. And
how did you fix it? Just out of curiosity.
I rolled up a piece of paper towel and dampened it and put it under the heads.
Oh, they were clogged. Okay.
Moved it back and forth. Yeah. That just dissolved it a little bit.
That's the problem with InkJet is they have to be used regularly. Otherwise, the ink dries and then you've got a clog. Yeah.
And that's I think I got it in my thought was, well, if this ruins it, it doesn't matter because it doesn't print anyway.
Right.
But nursed it along for years and years. I think I got to the point where I may have damaged one of the heads because it won't unclog and it won't print.
Oh.
So my question is, do you know of an InkJet that is less prone to clogging than others?
You know, when Epson was a sponsor of this show, they dumped us unceremoniously a couple of years ago. But when they were a sponsor of this show, and I'm a big fan of their EcoTank printers because you don't have cartridges. You know, you just get big tanks, which saves you a lot of money on cartridges. I asked them about this. I said, look, is there any way you can keep these from clogging? They said, well, we coat the heads. We do all sorts of things to keep it from clogging. But it's my experience, if you don't print on an InkJet for a few weeks, you're going to have to run the nozzle cleaning routine, which uses a lot of ink. And if you don't do it for a few months, you're going to have to get a towel or something and do what you did. Yeah. They really do clog. And I don't know of any that don't. If you're curious, read up on Wikipedia on how inkjet technology works. It's remarkable.
Right.
It is hard to believe it can work. I mean, these are tiny little nozzles, unbelievably small. It is a remarkable system, but I just think it's kind of it's in the nature of the ink and the nozzles. You do everything you can, but you're going to have some issue with clogging. I just don't and I think what Epson does in unclogging it is good. Putting the coatings on the heads is good. For a while, and I thought your HP might be one of these, inkjets had replaceable heads. So when you got, that made it even more expensive, by the way, because when you got a new cartridge, you'd get a new head. That might be a way to go, too. But basically, my feeling on inkjet is you really shouldn't get one if you don't print every day.
Yeah, well, I just, once a week, print a test page.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. The inkjets are great for photo printing. That's what you were doing, I guess, with a PhotoSmart. But
occasionally, yeah.
I use laser now because even though the color's not great, I don't have this problem. And consumables are cheaper, too. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It is, yeah. Are you printing photos? Is that the main thing you want to do?
Well, not necessarily. See, right now it's the black cartridge that doesn't work. So,
well, that's the end of the line.
Printed text more than anything.
Yeah.
Now we can't even do that.
They're not designed. This is the other thing that Epson would never say this, but I think it's true. They're designed to be obsoleted. They're designed to wear out. They want you to buy a new one.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and we got this real cheap, but the cartridges that come with are maybe half size.
Yeah, that's why it's cheap, right?
Yeah,
they're basically selling it below cost.
Yeah, I think, and I think we got it for less than what a new set of cartridges cost.
Yeah.
So we're paying, it's almost cheaper to look for the deals and buy a new printer.
Absolutely.
Every time you run out of ink.
Absolutely.
That's what I used to do.
And Epson was concerned when they did the EcoTank. They said, because you're paying for that ink that comes with the box, it's significantly more expensive. And they weren't sure if people were going to be able to do the calculation that said, well, yeah, but I'm not going to buy, 100 cartridges. So over the 2 years that this ink is going to last, I'm saving $1,500. It turned out people were able to do that calculation. They only sold them initially in Brazil, and it sold so well, they said, okay, I think we can do this in the rest of the world.
Yeah, I hate to take this apart and try to clean it out because
I think you should just. What did it cost you? $90? It's time for a new.
Well, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But, the thing is, it's the scanner still works. I still use that. So
it's a shame. I don't think we should make stuff that isn't going to last. But we do.
I will tell you a couple of times I've had an inkjet printer since college, and it would occasionally clog. And I did a lot of research on what is the best way of doing it. And the best thing that you can do is get 99.9% isopropyl alcohol. So as pure of isopropyl alcohol as you can. Then you get a dropper. And you take the dropper and you drop it directly on, you take the ink cartridge out, you drop it directly onto the print heads, and you let that sit overnight, and then you do it again, and you let that sit overnight, and that has helped me twice to unclog those print heads.
Okay. Well, I've been doing that with the water, but not...
Yeah, see, water, depending on what water you have, it's not pure, so it will also collect little bits of stuff on there that will actually clog it as well.
Okay, I'll try the alcohol, see if that'll...
Pure. You don't want rubbing alcohol.
Don't use 70%. Don't use 75%. You need as close to 100% as possible. And different sites will sell, or even I think you can get some locally, 99.9% if you can get it. That eventually,
or Everclear.
Yeah. I ended up switching to a laser in the end, but for a while that helped.
Yeah, I had an HP LaserJet years and years ago, and I never had to replace the toner. It lasts long,
right? It lasts a long time.
The brother that I bought came with like a mini cartridge, right? Mini toner cartridge. But when I replaced that's a 5,000 page cartridge. Yeah, that's going to be. I'm never going to get another one.
Yeah.
Printers, I just was reading about printers. This is a dying business because people just aren't printing anymore, you know? I guess in offices we do. But
a few things I need every once in a while. I put it on a thumb drive and go to the library and print it, but that's inconvenient.
Yeah. And an inkjet is going to do great color, and if you ever do want to print photos, you know, that PhotoSmart does a very nice job of that. Epson has some really good photo printers, too. But I use mine more for a scanner. You're right. It's funny. I use it as a scanner 3 times more often than I use it as a printer. I very rarely print anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, great to talk to you. Thank you, Mark.
Okay. Yep.
Take care. Bye-bye. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent here, the tech guy too. It's a good thing on Saturday. You get double the pleasure, double your fun with Micah and Leo and your questions. 8888 Ask Leo if you want to know more about something, if you want to make a suggestion. We're all here to help each other out. 888-827-5536, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. You can call us from outside that area by using Skype out or something like that. There's a chat room going, great fun, irc.twit.tv, and you should be glad we've got the chat room because they often come up with the answers. The team tech guy is in there helping us out. Thank you, team tech guy. On to Richard in Chino, California, our next caller. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Leo. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great. Hello, Micah.
Hello.
What's up?
Hey, I was wondering if you could assist me with one little problem I'm having. I have SimpliSafe, and I had it about a month ago. I got it, and I bought it from a department store as a kind of a package bundle deal, where I got the base and the camera, a couple sensors, and so forth. I put that in my residence, and probably within 2 weeks, the keypad, the batteries died. So,
the department store obviously had that on their shelf for a few months, years, decades, and that's not unusual when you get stuff from a store like that. They have it in inventory a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. So I put brand new batteries in there, thinking that it was no big deal, and then within 4 days, it drained the battery completely.
Okay. So now we know there's a short probably in that keypad. The good news, now SimpliSafe, I should mention, a sponsor. Thank you, SimpliSafe.
Yes.
Have you called them? And because they would send you a replacement right away, I think.
Yeah, so I called SimpliSafe, and they told me to contact the department store first. So I did. They were able to exchange the keypad.
Oh, good.
I saw them open a box, and so they gave me a new keypad. I used their batteries, and within 4 days, it killed it again. So I put new batteries in there, and probably within a week, it died again. So I called up SimpliSafe. They sent me a third keypad.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, and they guaranteed it wouldn't happen again. And sure enough, within 2 weeks, it was completely dead.
Do you have a small child in the house?
Yeah, somebody pressing on the keys regularly.
No, we've got a couple of chihuahuas, but they can't reach it. And,
Micah has a couple of chihuahuas, too. Have you ever had problems with your
They have not killed the batteries on my remotes yet, but I wouldn't put it past them.
I have a keypad right here. That's weird. I don't know. They have, they make a variety of keypads. Maybe try one of the other kinds, like the key fob keypad.
Yeah. And when we do have the key fob also, that came with our bundle.
Right.
It's just the keypad was kind of, where you put in the PIN number.
Oh, yeah. That's how you turn it on and off. Sure.
Oh, I'm seeing that interference can play a big role in this. If you've got a brick wall or...
It's trying too hard.
Yeah, it's trying to get to... If you've got a brick wall, you've got some sort of like stucco that has metal in it.
That makes sense.
That could be causing the issue. Because
that's the only thing that could explain it, because you've tried new batteries, you've tried 3 different keypads. So it's like your cell phone. My daughter said, "Why do I have to turn the cell phone off on the plane?" And I said, "Well, honey, they used to say it interferes with navigation. We know now that that's probably not the case. But it's going to kill your battery. If you've ever accidentally left your cell phone on a plane, it kills the battery because it's trying hard to reach the cell towers, changing cell towers every second or two. And it's working so hard, the batteries just die in an hour or so. And the keypad is exactly the same thing. There's something interfering that's making it hard for it to talk to the base station. And I think you nailed it, Micah. That's exactly what's wrong. But now, what can he do about it?
Also, thank you to Scooter X for posting in the chat a suggestion that I'm seeing, and one that makes sense because it's a suggestion I would make if it was a router thing, is to move that base station closer to wherever you have that keypad. So if the keypad is outdoors somewhere, if you get the base station a little bit closer, even though it's working harder to get through the wall, you will have a better connection. It won't have to work as hard to be able to make that that connection.
Where is the keypad? Is it right by your front door?
Yes, the keypad is right by the front door, and the base station is in the living room area.
Yeah, so maybe try putting that by the front in the front entryway. Is it a brick wall, a metal wall? There may be metal in the wall.
Yeah, siding could get in the way.
Yeah, it's an older house, so there could be some
That's for sure, yeah. So drill a hole in that front wall. Just leave a, not big enough for a burglar. Just, obviously you don't want to do that. But I think you nailed it. I think it's exactly what's going on. And it's going to keep happening if the key, the key fob, the button pad doesn't have a lot of juice.
Right.
It just needs but it needs to send a radio signal to that base station.
Because, this is the thing, is that this is actually kind of what you want to have happen, because it means that the engineers for SimpliSafe said, what we want is to make sure that signal gets there no matter what, versus other companies who would choose
it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't make the connection. You wouldn't. You'd press the buttons and it wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to go ahead and try that then.
Fuss with that. Hey, I'm glad you bought SimpliSafe. Thank you.
Thank you. You take care.
I'm not their spokesperson or anything, but it's nice. I think it's a good system. And I never even thought about that. I think a lot of modern homes, it's just wood. There's not, but an older home, there's metal in there. There could be all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And that blocking the signal. That's classic with radios. Same thing with a cell phone. If you're in an area, I noticed my battery life in Providence on T-Mobile was much worse than it is here, and I suspect that's because it was working harder to get to the tower, that kind of thing. Yep. Brett on the line from Madison, Wisconsin. Hello, Brett.
Hey, Leo. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you great. So does Micah. What's up?
Great. Well, my wife and I took advantage of this Verizon special where you can turn in your iPhone 11 for a new iPhone 13.
Nice.
Basically zero cost.
Yeah.
So we went in last Friday, and the guy in the store transferred our data to our new phone, and lo and behold, everything seemed to come through fine. But then when we went into our Gmail, every one of our emails was gone. And I have tried to get them back, and I cannot do it.
Here's the good news. You said Gmail, right?
Correct.
There's no way those are gone. But you can verify this by going to gmail.com, logging into your account in a web browser. And everything should still be there. If it's gone from there, something else happened. Have you done that? Have you logged in with your browser just to see?
I may have. Listen, I'm 69 years old, and this stuff just...
I don't blame you. This is a very common question with mail, and it's a little weird, so bear with us here. Gmail stores your mail on their servers, on the Google servers. When you're looking at your mail on a phone, on a computer, you're actually not looking at it on the computer. It's almost like you're using the browser and looking at it through a browser. Depending on what email program you're using, it may download some of that mail and what they call cache it for faster loading on your hard drive. But the mail officially is stored on Gmail. It's not stored on your computer or on your phone. When you get a new phone, it's not at all unusual. You'll set up Gmail, you'll be able to see new mail, but it's not going to go out and download or cache all that old mail. So it may well be with the Apple Mail program anyway that the mail isn't all there that used to be there, just to save time and space. But if you go to gmail.com, it should all, if it's not, then something else happened, but it should all be there. And furthermore, you could get Apple's mail to download more of that mail. Right, Micah? Am I wrong?
I'm thinking really what happened here is that you just need to re-log in. It could be that you had your Gmail set up beforehand, so you just need to log back in, and it should re-download.
You've lost nothing, in other words.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons they do this, is because people lose stuff. You notice, I don't know if you've noticed, but more and more of our data, our music, our books, our movies, our mail is stored not on our computers, but up in the cloud. And partly that's because they make money charging you for cloud storage, but partly it's also because it eliminates phone calls. Where'd my email go? In the old days on email, we would log in to the internet service provider's servers, download the mail, delete it from their service to save their space, and have it on our computer. But it's not backed up then. It's easy to lose. So as we use more devices, as we have more mail, this is just a sensible way. And almost all email providers now do this. They store the mail on their servers. There's plenty of space there. In fact, Gmail started this when they started, 20 years ago? That was the selling point. Never delete any more email. Keep it all. We got plenty of room. And that really transformed how we think about email. So it's all there. Go to mail.gmail.com, log in with your Gmail account. That'll reassure you. You'll see it all there. And then you can, probably log in on the phone. We'll download it all. It doesn't download all of it because there may be hundreds of gigabytes, and you don't want to fill up your phone with that. But it should all be visible if you scroll through.
Exactly. As you scroll through, it'll load more.
Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, answering your calls. Talking high tech.
And boogie woogie woogieing.
And boogie, or bougie, as we say, woogie woogieing. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. 888-827-5536. The only thing weird, my daughter, who's California born and bred, by the time we were only there 4 days in beautiful Providence, Rhode Island, by the time we left, she was talking like this. She said, "We got to stop at a Dunkin's, Dad. I need some coffee." Abby, why are you talking like that? What are you talking about? I always talk like that. What are you talking about? Oh, my God, I've lost my time. Joe on the line from Long Beach, California. Hello, Joe. Welcome, Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent.
Wow, what a great day for me. I get to talk to you, Jen.
Well, it's a good day for us, too. We feel good, too. Hey, Joe.
Hey, listen, I'm going to try to sneak two questions in here. One is about QuickBooks. I have a small business, and we use QuickBooks basically for invoicing and, reports and things like that. So when Microsoft said no more Internet Explorer, I deleted Internet Explorer off my machine. Big mistake, because QuickBooks won't work without it.
Oh, dear.
Are you using QuickBooks online or?
No, I bought the QuickBooks. So I go out and I buy the new QuickBooks.
This is their, by the way, this is their little, Intuit's little scam, in my opinion. Essentially, they want you to buy QuickBooks every year.
Absolutely, which is going to be another question I'm going to ask you. They said, and I went through this 2-hour thing with a chat and people on the phone hanging up, and their last thing to me was, as of the moment, our back-end engineering team are working on this and there's no solution yet. Well, why would they sell the program? Because I just updated to QuickBooks 2022. That doesn't work either.
Unbelievable. You're saying that they require Internet Explorer?
Yes. Microsoft says since QuickBooks supported browser is actually IE, we are moving away, but it's not yet done.
What?
I'm really just sad because I can't get anywhere with them. So maybe if they hear this, maybe they'll do something. But
it's not just IE, IE 11.
What in the world?
Internet Explorer 11 is the current browser for QuickBooks Desktop. That's their, they don't call it IE, it's their internal browser, but that's what it is. As of June 15th, Microsoft discontinued IE 11. So they do say on their website, as of June 10th, all supported versions of QuickBooks Desktop will begin to use their new custom browser.
Ain't so.
Wait a minute. Okay, then there's a footnote. So it says all supported versions of QuickBooks Desktop will use our new custom browser. Footnote. The custom browser will only be supported in QuickBooks Desktop for Pro, Premier, Enterprise Accountant 2020, 2021, and 2022. So when they say all supported versions, they're actually no, just those.
Well,
Are you
actually,
running Pro, Premier, Enterprise, or Accountant 2022?
I have QuickBooks Pro.
Pro. So it's supposed to be.
The second footnote is even more mind-boggling. It says updates will be provided if and when they become available. If they become available?
First they say, okay, wait a minute. This is hysterical. It says, it's reliable and will include critical security updates. Footnote. Updates will be provided if and only when they become available.
But in the meantime, the program, the software they sold me doesn't work. It won't even boot up.
This is not good. This makes no sense.
I'm no friend of QuickBooks. I have to say, we use QuickBooks Online for my business.
Well, I started to do that, and the QuickBooks I've had's been working fine for the last 3 or 4 years, and we don't use it really all the bookkeeping functions.
You shouldn't have to. Yeah.
Invoicing and payment. So is there an alternative software to QuickBooks that can open my QuickBooks file and I can just say to hell with them? Heck with them, sorry.
What? No, you can say that bad word. I think they deserve it. We use QuickBooks Online, and about a month ago, a friend of the show, accountancy in Beverly Hills, sent us a note saying, hey, just so you know, I can access your account. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So we contacted QBO, and they said, you must have added them. No. And then we found out many more people had been added. They don't admit to a bug in their software, but they also don't know how it happened.
This is Intuit?
Yeah, QuickBooks Online. And that's a major security problem if people are being given access to your account, to your books, without your permission or knowledge. We wouldn't have known about it if she hadn't sent us an email saying, I can see your stuff. So maybe, hang on, we'll find you an alternative. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Horrible. Horrible.
I wonder about
horrible. So the Cranston accent is very different than the New York accent. I'm not sure how.
I wonder about FreshBooks.
FreshBooks is, it depends. If you said your needs were few, Joe.
That's correct. We just need basically a way to generate invoices, receive payments, and generate reports.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is an online one, but it's a lot less expensive, and I think it's very nice. I used it for years. It's called FreshBooks.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's not a full accounting system, although behind the scenes it really is. And for somebody like you, with what you just described, it's certainly all you would need. Now, I'm sure it will import Intuit, but I was
seeing some guides online for doing
it. It would be shocked if it didn't. You can try it free for 30 days. It's an online service.
But I'll do that because I want to just tell Intuit to take a hike.
Who doesn't at this point? We would, except we can't. I mean, we're so invested in it. Yeah, we can't, but you can. It sounds like, and FreshBooks is really actually great. It's designed for people like you who aren't. They don't want to be. They're not CPAs. They just want to do invoices, keep track of their accounts receivable, keep track of their income, that kind of thing. I think it's got some really nice features, and it's designed to be easy to use. So, high recommendation.
Can I sneak in one more question?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. We have a small network. I have like 1, 2, 3 computers and a laptop that we swap stuff around. But I'm having a continuous problem with computers not recognizing other computers on the network.
Oh yeah.
And I Google it, and I get all these things to do, and I'll do something, and then something will work for a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'll come back the next day, and the computers are not showing up.
So you're sharing drives from one computer to another over your network?
That's correct.
Yeah. Ideally, honestly, the best way to do this would be to, instead of doing a direct computer to computer, setting up a network attached storage that all of them log into. It's a little more expensive, but actually you get all these benefits. You can back up each computer to the network attached storage. It's just a lot of reasons it's easier. And those shares should be much more reliable. I don't.
Okay. Well, I have a NAS for my backups and for my media server.
Oh, perfect.
So I could set up a small one for.
Yeah. And your media server doesn't disappear.
Exactly. You can have 2 NAS on one system, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Or you could even take a little portion of your existing NAS and use it for that. Just have, NASs have a way to have multiple users and set up like this.
Then I couldn't go buy something new.
Oh! Get a Synology.
Hey, listen, one more thing I want to tell you. I know you have a guy on there that goes around and records concerts and things.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do that when I was in high school. When I was in high school, which was back in the 1960s, I scrimped and saved and bought an Ampex 601.
Oh, wow.
And a Telefunken, not a Neumann, a Telefunken U47.
You lugged a 601 around with you?
Yeah, but lug, they were tiny compared to a 350 or something like that.
Okay, but
that was my setup. And then when I made enough money with that, I bought a 602 and another U47.
Do you still have the tapes?
No. And unfortunately, I don't have the U47s either because I could retire if I did.
Yeah, no kidding. Those are incredible.
The original tube. So I enjoy hearing the old guys on your show.
I love it. I love it.
Micah's going to be a fantastic.
Isn't he going to be great in about 40 years? He's going to be amazing.
He's great now.
No, I know.
Thank you, Joe.
I'm just teasing him. Thank you, Joe. What was your favorite concert that you recorded?
Ciao for now.
All right. Bye. Didn't have time anyway. If you wanted to buy an Ampex 601 suitcase recorder these days, it'd be about $2,700.
Joe sounded just like Tim Cook.
It was Tim Cook, you think? He did.
Maybe
if he'd said, good morning, you would have gone, oh, it's Tim Cook on the line.
Tim.
Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys on the radio, 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. Website, and we mentioned this just because this is the easy way. You don't have to write stuff down. We can put stuff up for you to retrieve at a later date. It's techguylabs.com. What you'll find there initially is very little, but in a day or two, you'll see links. You'll see a transcript of the show. We'll put audio and video from the show. The transcript has time codes so you can search and find a portion, watch it again, or listen to it again. And this is episode 1907. So that's all at techguylabs.com, and that's all free. There's no charge to do that. 8888 Ask Leo. Dick Debartolo, the Gizwiz, coming up in just a bit. Joe told us off the air after our call that he used to go around in the 60s recording concerts on an Ampex 601 portable reel-to-reel recorder. And I'm looking at these, and they are still in such high demand that if you went to eBay to get one that was in working condition, it might cost you as much as $3,000. And it was using amazing Neumann microphones. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the tapes anymore. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, that breaks my heart.
It's kind of too bad. Yeah. I have a good friend who worked on Toronto radio for years who had interviewed pretty much every major musician in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Wow.
And he had the reel-to-reel tapes in his garage.
Oh, that's amazing.
I don't want to say his name.
No, yeah.
Because people get mad at him.
Oh.
Because I said, please, John Donaby. Oh, I said his name. Please, let me come into your house, your home, and I'll do whatever it is I need to do to digitize those, because that is a treasure.
Literally.
It is a national treasure. Never did get to. He started working in radio in 1965 at CKLB. 53 years. Retired just a few years ago from broadcasting. 53 years. At some of the biggest stations in Canada, including Chum. And in that time, I'd interviewed just about everybody. But, that's what happens. In my earlier misguided youth, before I was a tech guy, I'd interviewed people. I had more than 5,000 interviews. I don't have any recordings of those. So if you, this is a public service. If you have in your garage reel-to-reel tapes, maybe, Joe, you have some of those concerts you recorded in the 60s or some of those interviews. I guess there's some concern about copyrights, but these tapes are disintegrating.
Yeah, maybe if it went through like the Internet Archive or something.
Exactly what I was going to say. Reel-to-reel tapes, only last maybe a few decades. They start to shred, fall apart. Eventually, those will be unusable. There is a technique where you bake the tape in an oven. You slightly warm it up, which works once.
Don't do it after one time.
It only works once. It kind of re-adheres the magnetic material to the plastic backing to the Mylar. You can play it back, but it's going to then just die completely. Wow. So you have one shot to get it off the tape. But I would have been willing to do that. Come over with a little portable oven, a little easy bake oven, done all the tapes to record them. If you do have those, I wouldn't put them on your own website. That's what I was telling John to do. But what you'd probably be better off doing is go to the Internet Archive, archive.org. These guys are willing to risk the copyright police, and I think there are enough court decisions in their favor.
Exactly.
That it's understood that they're preserving the internet and this history so that future generations have access to it. Because otherwise, the internet's disappearing. That's how it started originally. Now they have everything, including old interviews, radio shows, things like that. 702 billion web pages. You know that because if you've ever gone to archive.org and searched for an old website, you could find some of my old websites there in the Wayback Machine. But they also have audiobooks, poetry. They have live music archive. They have Canadian libraries, John Donaby. They have old video games. That's another one. These are art forms. These are things that people put hundreds, thousands of hours in, large teams, to create these video games. Dig Dug or Asteroids. Did you ever play any arcade games, or was that before your time?
I mean, it was before my time for the most part, but that doesn't mean that I didn't have people who were fans who liked it and said, "You got to play this." Yeah, Asteroids,
Pong, Ms. Pac-Man, Pac-Man. Yeah.
Pac-Man. Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, some of the companies who own the rights to these, Namco and others, say, no. Someday we're going to make money on these. You can't distribute these. But they are being preserved by the Internet Archive because that is, in fact, a work of art. Mm-hmm. And it needs to be preserved. And unfortunately, it's a work of art that won't be visible, usable, playable in a couple of years because there aren't any more N64s or the Sega Genesises are gone or whatever they were played on. These old arcade machines are gone. So they create emulators that mean you can play them on the web. You can see them. They have a radio show and program archives. Brewster Kahle started the Internet Archive some years ago. He made money. He was at AOL and made some money when AOL got sold. He was at a company called Wyze, pardon me, WAIS, a database company that sold to AOL. He had stock, and instead of buying an island and retiring, he created what is, I think now, the Smithsonian of the digital age. With that money, and created the Internet Archive. They now are, of course, run mostly on donations. They have a beautiful building. If you ever get a chance in San Francisco.
They do? I didn't know they had a building.
It looks like the old Library of Alexandria. It's got pillars and
what?
Yeah.
I would have visited this long time
It's really cool. Well, I don't know what's inside. Maybe a lot of servers. I don't know. But you can go to archive.org and all of their collections, including old Mac software. There was a game we used to play called Dark Castle. You can't play any modern Mac, but they have Mac emulators there that let you play it. It's remarkable. They have 8.2 million films, 14 million sound recordings, 2.4 million TV shows, 238,000 radio shows, stuff that would be lost forever. And concerts, images, and they're willing to take the chance. I asked Brewster when he started this, aren't you worried you're going to get sued by the owners of this? Companies like Namco, who really will go after you if you start distributing these freely. And he says, well, it needs to be saved. Somebody's got to do it. We're going to take the chance, and we're going to do it. And the good news is courts have understood this is part of art. This is the Smithsonian. This is part of archiving They even have a phone software archive with 118,000 old apps. Apps that are orphaned. 15,000 Android apps that are orphaned. You can't, run them on a modern phone. So just a little plug, for what they're doing. It is the Smithsonian. And I think sometimes people treat this digital bit-rot digital stuff as not important. And I think we're starting to realize maybe it was. Maybe those old MySpace pages, as goofy as... Did you have a MySpace page?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Did it have a lot of dancing bears on it?
It had music that played when you went to it automatically, and
yeah.
GIFs all over the place. And
I think a lot of people your age
cursors
learned how to do internet web development on MySpace, right? Because you could actually put some HTML in there.
Make your own.
Mm-hmm. Does your MySpace page still live?
I don't know. I don't know.
I
don't even know what my name.
Let's look at the Wayback Machine. You need to know your old name.
Yeah, I don't know.
People in the chat room are putting up my old websites from 1999. It's all there somewhere. And yeah. 8888 asks you. Actually, don't call, because you know what? We're going to take a break, and when the next time we speak, we will be in the presence of genius. Dick Debartolo, Mad's maddest writer. Our Gizwiz coming up. Stay here. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. It's time for the Gizwiz segment. Dick Debartolo is here, Mad Magazine's maddest writer. We call him our Gizmo Wizard, Gizwiz for short. Hello, Dickie D.
Leo, how are you, pal?
I am wonderful. I was out your way, sort of. I flew over your house. I was in Rhode
was that
Island.
you?
That was me. Did you see me waving? Yeah.
Yeah. I said, what is that lunatic waving? None of the planes waved to me.
It's a little humid, a little muggy, a little warm.
Yeah.
Summertime in the city.
It is.
But you're wearing, it looks like your
my travel shirt for 4th of July.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
where are we going?
Looking forward. Dennis and I are going to Riverside Park to watch the Petaluma Laser Show.
They said it's visible from everywhere.
That's what we're planning on. That's our 4th of July.
They said you should be able to see it anywhere. I thought, well, that's going to be a very bright show, I think.
Yeah, I'll let you know next Saturday.
You still have fireworks in the city, right?
Oh yeah, Macy's, absolutely.
And
in the East River.
In the old days, you would get in your boat in the Hudson, maneuver carefully so that you could see down over to the East River.
Yeah, you had to go to 33rd Street, a big wide street.
And you'd look down 33rd Street, and then you'd have your TV with the fireworks on it, and then you see the real fireworks emerging out of the TV.
Yeah.
You don't do that anymore?
No. Well, first of all, I don't have a boat, so that's really tricky.
You don't want to do it on a raft or swimming.
No. Or a piece of lumber floating down the river.
Then Tom Sawyer raft. No, that's no good. Okay.
All right. So I have a gadget. Micah might be interested because I know you have one that's 10 times more expensive than this. Okay, so it's another gadget from Pepcom. That's the exhibit with 40 tables and one new product and the PR person, and usually someone from the company.
If there's only one product, what do they need 40 tables for? There's 40. A product per table.
Per table,
oh,
exactly.
Okay. All right.
Per table, exactly. So over at Proctor Silex, this woman had this food processor filled with blue stuff, and I said, "What in the world are you making?" And she said, "Oh, we're not making anything. I am demonstrating the Proctor Silex Quick Clean food processor." Yes. Yeah, I didn't think anything of this because I don't own a food processor.
You know why you don't own a food processor? They're so hard to clean.
Yes, I just was using mine the other day.
Exactly. So I said, well, so how does it work? And she said, well, it comes with a special plastic blade. So you take the stainless blade out, you drop this in, then you put the stainless blade back in. First, she said, you see these two little ridges in the plastic blade? Just put something on there like Dawn or a detergent.
Okay.
Then drop the blade that you just finished using, put the top back on, and hit the clean button. And this thing revs up really fast and then stops for a second and revs up and going backwards. And then when you're done, she said, just take it to the sink because everything's spotless. Just run it under clear water.
Ooh.
And it'll be, I know. And the funny thing is, I thought, oh, okay. And you know, at these events, you take your food and you go to a little table. And whenever a stranger comes over, they say, so what did you see? And I said, well, I just got here. The only thing I saw was the self-cleaning food processor. Where? What table?
Please, I need a story. I got a file in 30 minutes.
That happened 3 times. It was so funny. So they're evidently onto something.
Yes, they really are.
It's going to be $89 and it'd be shipping in about 2 months. She said it should be out by the middle or the end of August.
Excuse me for being ignorant here.
Yes.
It sounds like the only additional feature on this whole thing is the special plastic blade.
Oh, well, you had also arguing that you could just
do it with anything. Put some soap. I do this with my blender.
Maybe.
The Vitamix is how it cleans itself. You put a drop of dish soap in there, some warm water, you turn it on high, it goes, and it's clean. And I would imagine this would work with any.
This also has a special clean cycle, though.
It has a button on it that says clean.
And it apparently runs in reverse and forward.
It's an agitator. So you can put your socks in there, too. It'd be perfect.
Remind me never to come over.
Next time.
Do you offer laundry service?
Make sure
Next
we're
time,
doing
instead
something
of
on the...
when I'm in a hotel rinsing out my socks and my underwear in the sink, I'll just bring my Proctor Silex quick clean blender.
There you go.
And I'll put them in there.
There you go.
Don't put the blade in if you put the socks in, though, right?
I will say,
exactly.
I made rack of lamb the other day. It was a rosemary and garlic and olive oil.
I'll be right over.
For the rack of lamb. It was incredible, but the food processor is always such a pain to clean. So this is kind of a nice idea.
I bet, though, you might try this with your
I might just do it with the one I have.
It doesn't have a clean button, okay?
But just pulse it a few times.
Just pulse it.
Well, just take one of the regular buttons and a magic marker.
Put a piece of tape over, write clean.
Yeah.
see what happens. Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention that the what the heck is it gadget is something you both might be interested in. Okay?
Now, wait a minute. Now, you had a winner.
I had a winner, and you, 75 people thought it was a correction.
Yeah. You know, where you have the whiteout or whatever, the little tape in there.
Okay. What it really is it's a little device called glue dots. And it's, if you're working on projects and like foam or glass or paper or plastic and you want to glue two things together.
Where you find this stuff, Dick?
You take the glue dot dispenser and run it across. Yes. And it puts down a row of dots. It's so much easier than double-faced tape.
It's like it's for scrapbookers, especially. I bet.
Yes, exactly.
Did anybody get that right, Dick?
6 people.
Wow.
6 people, all scrapbookers. Yeah.
Yes, all scrappers.
So that means that's the conclusion of last month's What the Heck Is It contest. July 2nd, we've got a brand new one. It'll run in July and August.
Exactly.
Let me look at the picture. Oh, it's a Proctor Silex quick clean food processor. Wait a minute.
Go to What the Heck Is It?
I'm on the wrong place. I'm on the Gizwiz Visits the Tech Guy. If you go to gizwiz.biz, click the button that says "What the heck is it?" Oh, there it is. Oh, I get it. It's
a
little
keychain that you
fluorescent
wear
light.
Oh, I was thinking a keychain for toilet paper rolls.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you kind of keep them with you.
You carry one with you.
Carry one with you. Yeah.
I'll tell you, if you're old And that works.
You need it, man.
I need it.
Yeah. Keychain toilet paper roll dispenser is our guess.
Perfect. Send it in.
You might have a better one. The way it works, there are 18 autographed copies of Mad Magazine just waiting for your guess. 6 of them will go to people who get it right, which is exactly how many people guessed the last one.
Correct.
And 18 of them will go to people who didn't get it right but were clever or cute or funny. And if there are many, many more clever, cute, funny answers, it'll be a drawing. Judges, or maybe Dick and Dennis will just figure it out themselves. I don't know. The rules are on the website.
Pretty much like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
GIZWIZ.biz. There's lots of other good stuff there, including all the stuff Dick talks about, not only in this show, but on ABC's World News Now. There's Mad Magazine memorabilia. There's Match Game memorabilia. It's a wonderful site. GIZWIZ.biz. Stay cool, Dick. And,
Thank you, buddy.
Enjoy
See you
the
next
fireworks.
week. Have a happy holiday.
You too.
Happy holiday.
4th. No, it's not that holiday.
It is that holiday.
It's that holiday?
It's Christmas in July.
Christmas
Leo.
in July.
It's the only song he knows. Let him sing it.
Thank you, Dick.
The famous Macy's Day Thanksgiving parade is going to be
with
fireworks
on Christmas
in July.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent. Have a great Geek Week. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.